seated. The show is about to start.
Distancing ourselves from the enemy. Think we've got a method of a remedy. It's hard at times, but we'll make it, yeah. Traveling on our own down the boulevard, surrounded by the shadows hiding in the dark. It's hard at times, but we'll fight it, yeah, we fight it, yeah. We don't believe in what we started. All our plans are crashing down. We gotta try to make it through this. It's too late to turn around. We don't believe in what we started. All our plans are crashing down. We gotta try to make it through this. It's too late to turn around. Distancing ourselves from the enemy. Now they've taken hearts and broken everything. It's hard at times. Can we change it? Can we change it? We don't believe in what we started. All our plans are crashing down. We gotta try to make it through this. It's too late to turn around. We don't believe in what we started. All our plans are crashing down. We gotta try to make it through this. It's too late to turn around.
Yes, I'm excited! Tri-County, you got Ric Flair, the captain of the team, behind you. Learn to love it. Diamonds are forever.
Hello and welcome to PopCULTure. I'm your host, 24 Eyes, and I have an amazing co-host. Her name is Amanda B, and she'll be joining me here in a second. But I just had to say real quick, I'm super excited about tonight's episode. I put together, I think, a rather amazing panel because we're going to get down on some wrestling talk this evening. But when I don't know. I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I brought together what I think is probably like the wrestling mega panel here. So first of all, I'll bring on my co-host, Miss Amanda B. Miss
You're
Amanda B,
so
how are you this week?
excited, you're speechless.
I know.
For
I know.
Hey everyone, thanks for coming.
So maybe we'll start with the familiar. Our first panelist on tonight is Neek.
Hello, hail the chat. Hi, Comixgator.
Former wrestler himself. He's got tales of the mat to tell. He's given us one juicy one already. The last time he made an appearance, yes sir. And then I guess one of the first power players that we're gonna have. One of people I've been very excited to talk to. One only 6AMComics. Mark, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I am doing great. I love wrestling, so I was really excited about having this particular panel. You don't even understand.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a good panel. I don't feel worthy, but I appreciate it.
But then to add to the panel, someone who's new around here. He's a new person, and we're getting to make friends on this very show right now. But I saw him around, and he hangs with good people. The one only Etep. How are you, sir?
Excellent, man. Hail the chat, hail the panel. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the invitation, man. It's good to be here.
And then the guest of the hour, the person that we brought here for everyone to talk to at the very end of all this stuff, and the person who's probably the most opinionated, I think, about wrestling and is probably the most up on it, the moral compass, Mark Poulton. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
I'm super stoked. I'm also super stoked about your book. We're on the Outcast Owls, and big thing is owls, all our homies have owl something related stuff.
Awesome.
And when I saw that you were doing that book, I was just like, yeah, I'm in. I'm done. I'm sold.
I found my audience.
Yeah, I'm spreading the word. But here on PopCULTure, we talk about all kinds of things pop. And we like to start off the week, with a positive vibe. So we like to celebrate birthdays. So I'm going to play a quick video right now, and we're going to see what was popping with birthdays this week.
What's that birthday month out there? I think, what's that birthday month out there? Is it December? Is it March? Is it January? Is it April? Go Sheila, it's your birthday. Go Sheila, it's your birthday. Go Freddie, it's your birthday. Go Freddie, it's your birthday. Go Anna, it's your birthday. Go Anna, it's your birthday. Go Derek, it's your birthday. Go Derek, it's your birthday. Go Freddie, go Freddie. Go Freddie, it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Go Derek, go Derek. Go Tracy, it's your birthday. Go Red. Working that stuff, Scorpio, working that stuff, Capricorn, it's your birthday, Capricorn, it's your birthday, Gemini, it's your birthday, Scorpio, it's your birthday, Pisces, it's your birthday.
Take me back with that 2 Live crew, man.
I just, you know how hard it is to find hype birthday songs. You know what I'm saying? I had
Yeah.
an '80s. I had an old '80s girl singing kind of funky thing before. You know what I mean? But I felt like that was for all the flaws. The guy with the weird tongue action and stuff. Fergie, it's your birthday, and he's doing for all those. And then
It's not a flaw. That's a talent. That's
for all that situation. I feel the hypeness. You're just.
It helps.
If we have any other birthday song suggestions, go ahead, put one in the comments, in the chat, wherever. Let us know. We're not afraid.
I didn't realize it was Kevin's mom's birthday. I see Kevin's mom from Home Alone.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh yeah, Catherine.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know she had a real name. I just Kevin's mom.
It's just amazing that you like recognized her like out of that picture.
Until you said it, I didn't realize that that's who she was. But I was just like, why does that name? What? Who is that?
Sadly, Ja Rule's by himself. Like typically, I have to edit it down. Like there's 5 or 6 birthdays or something, and I'll put like 2 or 3 or whatever. But Ja Rule is just solidly by himself.
How he prefers it.
Yeah.
Poor Ja Rule.
Being lonely.
He's having a.
Where would I be without my baby?
Yeah.
It's murder.
I mean,
had to finish it.
What would a rap duet today look like? I mean, like everything's like emo now, right? Like it'd be like Suicide Boys with and who? Avril Lavigne? I don't know.
It's modern day rap. It's just guys yelling now, isn't it? Just
they're just like screaming over some metal
really
stuff.
obnoxious beats. And,
but with that, we talk about what's going on in the week of the pop culture, right? So this week in pop culture, we have
in the past. So for February 28th, 1983, CBS sitcom MASH ended after 11 years. In 1993, the Waco raid, where the ATF raided Branch Davidian compound, at least 80 people, including 22 children, were killed.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyone want to get nostalgic for a second? I have a love-hate relationship with that opening because eventually I came to appreciate it, but when I was a kid, my dad used to watch the fuck out of that show, and it was so agitating.
I mean, that just put the mood down when that intro came on because you didn't know you were about to watch a sitcom. It was cartoons were done, and then this weird sad music plays over
sad music.
Yeah, I honestly when that started playing. My first thought was, "Oh God, this is going to be a Waco video." No.
Wow! You know what? That would be amazing.
I think Nico's traumatized from when we played the Challenger video.
No, I really wish that I had been that smart to edit that together ahead of time, mashed it up. No. But we do have the Waco siege. Let's see a little report right now.
The cult, actually called or known as the Branch Davidians, is an offshoot of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. They broke off from the church and moved out here from Los Angeles back in 1935. But despite the longevity of the cult in and around the Waco area, very few Waco residents that we spoke with had ever even heard of this cult before today. The peace of John Zanter's Sunday morning was shattered, literally, when gunfire erupted a half-mile down the road from where he lived. How many gunshots did you hear?
It was quite a few, couldn't really say how.
That's so wild. You see how calmly they reported that? No, context, no nothing. Just there was shots going down the road.
How many gunshots did you hear? I heard all of them.
Every single one of them.
There was a tank that had a flamethrower on it.
Oh, I mean, what they did to those children is abomination. They literally they gassed those kids. They took a tank and they fired tear gas in such a level that most adults, even if you were in the military and you went through gas chamber training and you had assholes run it all the time and they over gassed you and you had that kind of training, you still would have a hard time surviving and breathing out of the situation. If you were a kid, you were no way your lungs were going to be able to make it through. You were going to suffocate.
That's a nice pop culture show.
Hey, Waco happens.
History has highs and lows, unfortunately.
That's why we're going to bring it back up with swatches.
On March 1st, 1983, Swatch watches were introduced. In 1991, The Doors was released in theaters.
Oh my god. 1991.
Was that a good year? Was that a good vintage?
I mean, I just remember middle school and like all the girls freaking out over Val Kilmer as Jim Morrison, and then seeing actual video of Jim Morrison, and they're like, "Oh no, we like him better."
Well, look, I feel like maybe we need a palate cleanser after the whole Waco death thing. So here's a Swatch commercial. I felt like they were cooler than that. I don't think, like, now that I watched that, I don't think that was that cool, but I remember them being cooler.
How many people had a Swatch watch? I did.
I can't say I did.
For sure.
I had one.
I had a Batman Returns Tiger Electronic watch.
The watch?
That's the only watch I ever had.
Was the most coveted watch.
It was like Tiger Electronic game. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's pretty sweet.
I was going to say the most coveted watch when I was growing up, as far as I remember with my circle of friends, was that Casio watch that you could win on Double Dare, like the one that had like the calculator and stuff on it. Like, because you needed a calculator in the 80s, 90s. Like, just, man.
I wanted all those on Double Dare.
Double Dare and Mark Summers. It's bad that I even remember his name. I don't.
But you remember Mark Summers because he continued to do work, because he was the voice like on the Food Network after that. You know what I mean? Like he just kept going, and he was always like somewhere in the background. You heard that familiar voice your entire life.
He still is in the he exists in the ether.
I mean, like I feel like you could have like those ambient noise like thing, like sound machines or whatever. You could just have a Mark Summers sound machine and there's a certain generation of people that would buy that, and it would lull them to sleep. Just comfort them.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. It'd be terrible if he isn't.
I'm on that. Hang on, we'll see if Mark Summers is still alive.
I don't think he's that old, but
No.
He's eternal. Wasn't he? He was like a clean freak too, wasn't he? Apparently,
Howie Mandel is one of those people. It's got like he has to wash his hands. What is that?
Germaphobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
germaphobe.
Mark Summers is.
He didn't like messes. Yet he had like the messiest game show on the planet.
Yeah, the irony. Like the slime everywhere.
No.
Well, because it went from Double Dare to super sloppy Double Dare. I'm sure when they pitched that to him, he was just like all aces.
Quadruple my pay.
Family Double
Dare.
Dare.
Addicted to heroin. They're like, you want your fix? Extra sloppy Double Dare.
You know what though? That was the pinnacle of prizes. I defy you to name a show that had more prizes at the end, that you could win more cool stuff. There's not a show, and there's not a game show today, not even modern game shows, that give away as much cash prizes as Double Dare gave you. If you made it all the way through that final obstacle course, you had bikes, you had BK Diamond Cells, you had Sega Saturn, maybe, depending on like how far it was into the 90s. Like,
you know what the worst game show gift was? Guts. You got to just keep a piece of the rock.
Yeah, you just got. Yeah, but you got to deal with. I mean, you had that hot host. Maybe you got, maybe you could give her number. You guys could like talk, with your long.
Was it a kid show?
It was. I mean, that.
You don't remember the host, Susan? Was it like Susan Summers? She was like Olympian or something before that.
Wait, Suzanne Summers?
Or not Suzanne Summers? No, like something.
What's his face?
It was. There was like there's a hot chick on Guts. Let me look it up. Host of Guts.
I don't remember that.
Host of Guts, because it got ridiculous and turned into like Global Guts, and then once it Once they
You know,
did
like
that,
Guts, I remember like the little army action figures. I used to have a bunch of those.
Yeah, I remember those.
I sold them to some kid in Detroit. I started selling like some of my, like I sold everything that wasn't, well, I sold a bunch of G.I. Joe and then some rando stuff. I had MASH. I had 6 of the MASH action figures sold to some guy in Australia when I listed them for like, I don't know, it was like, it costs quite a bit to ship them. I'm like, we're going to have to inflate this price a little bit because shipping's going to be pricey.
Stick it in the bottle and throw it in the ocean.
I don't know.
Snuggy
There you
says
go.
the host is Summer Sanders.
Summer Sanders. There we go. Oh, bam.
I remember.
Summer Sanders.
She was on like the NBA show on Saturday too, like Inside the NBA that was on like in the afternoon or something like that. I remember Summer Sanders. Yep. Yeah, she hosts a couple different shows. I remember her.
All of that sounds so.
And she was an Olympian, so yeah, she was an Olympic swimmer, and she was like a host, and she was at that particular time. It was probably like post Olympics. So this had to be that was a great gig for her to be like on Nickelodeon. I mean, most Olympians are working at like Home Depot and shit in between trying to train. So. That's the sad truth. That's like the sad truth is like a lot. I mean, like there's only like a certain amount of jobs you can work, and whatever that you can do with a flexible schedule to train for an Olympic level, sport.
Imagine you walk into Kroger and Kurt Angle's bagging your eggs.
I was bagging groceries with a broken freaking neck.
I would expect him to not be gentle with my eggs, and I'd be really disappointed if he does.
That would be.
But body slam those eggs.
Yeah, I mean, some kind of suplex even.
Oh, well, moving right along in the week.
March 2nd, 1933, King Kong the film opened up at New York's Radio City Music Hall. In 1960, Lucille Ball filed for divorce from Desi Arnaz, ending their marriage, as well as the Lucille Ball Desi Show.
That's so savage. Like, oh man, I mean, they were a dynasty. Poor. I mean, like, oh, look at that.
A lot of fun, doesn't it?
Yeah. Wait a minute here. There is something here that needs explaining.
What needs explaining?
What's all this nonsense about you dancing with Van Johnson?
It's not nonsense. I did dance with Van Johnson.
She's told so many of those wild stories, she's beginning to believe them herself.
No, I was there and I saw her.
Well, whatever Lucy's got, it's catching.
It's true. I danced with Van Johnson this afternoon.
Now, look, honey, wait a minute. This is me, will you? This is not Carolyn. You're talking to Ricky, remember? Vans with dance. What is that? She's gone completely.
Team Ricky.
Well, maybe we know why they got divorced then. Maybe it was the dance.
Those redheads, man.
I mean, you can't put baby in the corner. Terrible. I mean, terrible. But we also have King Kong, and I have the cool opening critics for this. I would love to do that radio opening, dude. You know how dope that is? But I couldn't, like anybody who's an editing person, you know how long that would take? Like, it's not like a short task. It would be so long.
It's painful on the ears, too. Just beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. I was a Mighty Joe Young guy. I wasn't much of a King Kong guy.
Mighty Joe Young.
Mighty Joe Young.
That was what Charlize Theron was in that, wasn't she? Was it her that was in that? Was she the blonde that was in that?
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean the old one. I grew up.
I was talking about the one from the 90s. Okay,
how old is she?
From the 90s.
Back in time.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, jeez. OG. Mighty Joe Young.
The 91 was Charlize Theron. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotta be.
Is that, yeah, that's the right date.
Yep, March 3rd, 1931. President Herbert Hoover made Francis Scott Key's The Star-Spangled Banner the official national anthem of the United States. And in 1997, Daria premiered on MTV.
All right. So, my favorite rendition of the Star Spangled Banner was, the great Mr. Hendrix. And
I've got that vinyl. I own the original Woodstock vinyl. It's still in the plastic with him playing that on there, man. Yes, that is it's a beautiful rendition.
So there was an inch. So like, I like to, the thing about pop culture is we like to go back and get the perspective of what was going back on in the day and what people were feeling. So here's the interview of him on Johnny Carson after he played.
It's awesome.
I was just thinking, I'm like, wow, he's really on the quieter side than I thought he would be. And then, of course, he broke out of his shell towards the end. So I'm like, okay, there we are.
No, it's interesting to see how people took it. I mean, people were offended. Like, he was doing something patriotic. People at the festival were mad. Like, he got it from both ends when you think about it, right? He's a veteran. He's living his best life, after post-war vet. And he wants to express his patriotism, and the people at the festival couldn't have appreciated it that much because they were a bunch of hippies and leaning in the different direction.
It's nice to see a time period when people actually got offended
and then
when they thought you disrespected America.
Yeah, but then the general public, the people who's actually on side with, they got offended because they're like, "How dare you play it like that? That was all crazy."
It's funny, I mean. And not necessarily a bad thing, but I take that over the shit we have today. Good Lord.
Take a lot of things over today.
Yeah.
Like LeBron laughing at Macy Gray, and I'm not showing out for LeBron because he can go to hell as far as I'm concerned, but him laughing at Macy Gray when she was trying to sing it, I'm like, all I could think of when she was singing that at the Star Spangled Banner. Like, yeah, I was like, all I could hear was, I try to say goodbye. That's all I could hear. I'm like, oh, or her in Training Day. I want to see that warrant. I want to see that damn warrant.
No. You missed the best part. Do you remember when she covered Metallica? She covered Metallica.
Oof.
I tried to block that out.
I don't tell me you have a video, because I don't need that.
That smoker
We could probably find one.
No, stop him, man.
Okay, what is it?
Next one.
That's Daria. Oh, Daria, I almost forgot.
Wow.
You know what? I think that people forget about this. This was something I watched, and it's one of those things in retrospect that I think I shouldn't have watched when I was a kid. Like, it may have given me some weird messages. I don't know.
Wasn't Daria a spinoff of Beavis and Butthead?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure was.
That I don't know. Like they tricked me. They tricked me. I thought that, this person was just like a savage troll. I mean, before the terminology troll, but I just thought she was a savage troll kind of person. I don't think so. I think she was giving me some kind of liberal bullshit. It's feeding me some message that I didn't need.
She was the prototype.
Yeah. Thank God I went to the Marine Corps and they, jarheads cleared all that right out.
Ray Palpatine's grandmother right there.
With that, we have March 4th.
In 1975, People magazine was published for the first time in the United States as People Weekly. And in 1982, Police Squad premiered on ABC, lasting six episodes, but the concept was made into several very successful Naked Gun feature films.
Oh,
I love Naked Gun. That's
So
one of my favorite ones, and you get the extra bonus of having the juice in there. So you have a feature.
oh my God.
Yeah, what did I read? Apparently, he was going to be the Terminator, and I guess they didn't end up going with him because they believed that the audience would never believe OJ could be a cold-hearted killer.
That didn't age well. Allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I thought he did a command performance in there. I mean, honestly, if they said if they're gonna nostalgia bomb me, you know what I mean? If they were gonna try to get my nostalgia dollars, if they were gonna make another Naked Gun and they brought the juice back for it, I'd pay for it. I'm just saying, whatever.
I mean, It'd never happen. There's no like the movie would be canceled before it even started. Like,
I mean, he hasn't been canceled off of Twitter yet.
I was gonna say, I mean,
that's true.
Okay, let's be honest. OJ, and we've all heard. Have you guys? Did you watch the OJ series they did on FX where Cuba Gooding played him? And he's like,
I did watch that. That was the worst casting.
I'm not black. I'm OJ. I'm like, did he really say that? I'm like, okay, OJ. So let's see. So OJ, he's not going to get canceled for allegedly killing 2 people. I think it could fly today. I think he could.
Well, I mean,
he could do whatever he
2 white
wants.
people, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you watch any TV show, white people are expendable. They just kill them off at random. They're like, 42 people were killed today. All of them were white people. And back to you in the studio. Let's have the happy fun time hour. And they're like, what?
Yeah, this is why I miss things like Police Squad, and I'm sad that this only went 6 episodes, but I'm sad that I'm glad that this kind of clip led to the movies.
Oh, hi, Frank. I'm glad you're here. This is a tough one.
What do we got?
One scared lady. Couple of hoods beat up on her real good.
Did she say anything?
No, nothing. Same M.O. as the others.
Right. Where is she?
Right over there. Oh, Frank. It looks pretty bad.
I'm Sergeant Drebin, Jill. I know this may not be the right
Frank.
time.
Not that bad. That's her over there.
Sorry, madam. Jill? I'm Captain Drebin. Cigarette?
Yes, it is.
Well, I'm here to help you. Coffee?
No, thank you.
Tea?
No.
Eclair? Rum ball? Tort?
No, really, thank you.
Dude, the simplicity of that humor.
Yeah.
It's still better than almost anything on TV now.
I know.
True.
No. I just thank God for YouTube and member berries and those people, like those beautiful, beautiful people who have analoged all that. So they just like clock that on hard drives. What I hope is that how there's those survivalist people or whatever. What I'm really hoping is that there's a mega media person who has 16 underground storage containers of computers that just have everything stored of all the great, you know what I mean?
Yep.
The library,
it's a cache of media instead of munitions.
Just like the world's greatest collection, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
One could hope.
Library of Alexandria style, just all of the world's greatest media.
I'm getting all technical thinking about it, but what if all the codecs of the world are all gone and you can't log into any internet and all you have are these hard drives and you can't upload any of the files to any of your computers because you don't have internet access to be able to do that, and these things are all sorry.
Yeah, then we'll do tape trading, man. It'll be like hard drives, but man, I got this flash drive. What you got?
It'll all be those Fisher Price viewfinders. You just gotta.
Oh, that'd be like Water World,
It's the next disc.
Oh man,
How
what?
Did I
though?
get stuck with Ishtar?
Thankfully, all this stuff, if it does turn post-apocalyptic, most of these kind of retro items are owned by soy boys, and they're in perfect little collections. We can just beat them up and take all their stuff, so it's great.
Facts.
You know what I mean? When we get down to it, you know what I mean? We just make them give all their stuff up.
I mean, really, you probably wouldn't even have to touch them. You just scare them.
Just give them a mean look.
Just give them that thing like you did when you were a kid. You just give them that little that little flinch at them. Just take it. Just take it. All right. Okay.
And the final day in the week of our pop culture.
In 1960, Elvis Presley completes his 2-year stint and is discharged from the U.S. Army. In 2004, Martha Stewart is convicted of the felony of obstructing justice.
Yes.
Two great Americans, both serving time.
Her street cred went up so high after that. Martha Stewart. Like she suddenly like Snoop Dogg was on her show all the time. And
No. If you go to the store right now, sir, and in certain grocery store chains around like across America, there is a joint wine label between Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart.
Yeah, they have these big light.
I mean, they did their own cooking show. I mean, it's just at this point, it's crazy.
They're intended to either light bowls or to light your votive candles, and literally on the side of like there's this giant cardboard display, and on the side it's got a picture of Martha and a picture of Snoop standing next to one another. And Martha's like, these are great for lighting your candles. It's got a word balloon, and this is what Martha's saying. These are great for lighting your candles.
Oh, no.
And then the word balloon right next to Snoop says, and more. Like,
that's, you know what though, that's the kind of 2020 pop, like in 2022, that's what I want to see. I want to see worlds collide. I want to see pop culture icons come from different parts and continue to like make greatness. That I like that. That's like fun. That's fun that Martha Stewart like became a G, and now like there's a Snoop Dogg cooking show, and now we got Snoop Dogg, Martha Stewart home products. That's good. You know, that's fun.
She made some kind of like homemade shiv, but like made it really nice while she was there. It was very pretty. And,
like a doily hanging from the bottom of it. Just very floral.
And what I can do here is I've taken the toilet paper and I've added a lovely Tuscan motif to my 4x8, and I pretend it's a villa in the afternoon. It's quite lovely,
and it's quite easy to hide in the nature.
Oh, would you like to see that like where Martha spent her time in jail?
Oh wow, sure.
The sign at the local diner says it all. Welcome, Martha. Welcome to Alderson, West Virginia, the prison town that will be Martha Stewart's home for the next 5 months. But this is not a vacation. This is a sentence. Martha Stewart turning herself in tomorrow morning. Here's Eyewitness News reporter Nina Pineda.
This is the A-lister world Martha Stewart leaves behind. Her social set paraded past the paparazzi into the wedding reception of Susan Magrino, Stewart's publicist, and plenty of invited guests expected her to show.
If I were in this situation, I would come and party and have a good time.
She went to the Bahamas, had a vacation, and now she's going to her publicist and friend's wedding party. That's what every normal person should do before they're sent away, because this is her last chance.
Her last chance to see friends before becoming inmate 55170-054 at Alderson Prison in Charleston, West Virginia.
I'd really hate to see her go, but anyway, she'll handle it.
Stewart will have to steel herself for a life of bunk beds, shared showers and toilets, a rigid 6 a.m. wake-up bell, a daily prison job, and no privacy. Prison guards have said they can't guarantee the famous inmate won't be harassed.
Are we going to be able to follow her around and make sure that no inmate bothers her? No. She's going to have to shower in an area that 60 other women are trying to use as well. I think there's like 4 or 5 toilets, 2 sinks. She has to share a blow dryer, curling iron.
The anticipation of their newest resident has turned the small town of Alderson into a media camp awaiting her arrival, while her New York pals lament her departure.
I don't know what she's doing there when OJ is still walking around.
So the media waited with great anticipation, but Martha Stewart decided to spend her last night of freedom away from the glare of the spotlight. Tomorrow, she trades that glare for surveillance of a different kind. On the east side, Nina Pineda, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
No love for the juice there.
Nope.
No love for
they get blow dryers and curling irons?
That's a little weird, isn't it?
Wow.
I mean, she was in a white collar prison. I mean, she wasn't in like that crazy of a prison. And if you actually don't think that they didn't give her like her own cell and she didn't like have her own time to shower, you're completely insane. They just had. Did you notice who was talking? It was the union rep. The union rep. Of course, the union rep was speaking. And then this wasn't the warden. This wasn't like the prison guards.
They emphasize the showers, but I don't think the shower scene is as intimidating in a woman's prison as it is in a.
Actually, you'd be incorrect, sir. Women are more prolific with crime on each other than males are.
I mean, The flag that flew up for me was that he said 5 toilets for 60 women. And I'm just like, ooh, I mean that right there.
No, that's terrible. That's terrible because
Imagine that line.
I've worked in the public and I've cleaned public restrooms. And I'm gonna tell you, women fuck up bathrooms way worse than men do. Like way worse.
Oh man, I used to be a busboy at IHOP, and the women's bathroom, the most disgusting place I've ever been.
Dude. Yep. It is. And it's weird too because like, you know, you'd think it would be the opposite, but no. No, it's not. Did anybody else find it ironic that the guy's name was Rub Bottom? I mean, I'm just like, is this a work? Like, I'm like, is that really his name? Yeah, use it. I'm Rub Bottom, and I work in a women's prison. See, so they'll never figure it out. He's twirling his mustache. Flipping a nickel, leaning against a post.
That's like you look it up. He like changed his name to that. That was just the game of it all. That's how how ridiculous the 90s.
Oh no! Here comes Rumble. Shower time.
Well, to go on a little bit of a less lighter note. Now, I'm a veteran myself. I was in the Marine Corps. I served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and appreciate Elvis's service. So here's a interview with Elvis when he's in the Army.
New York, our point of departure for Germany. I was relieved the reporters didn't ask me about my mother.
Elvis, do the other soldiers give you a rough time because you're famous?
No, sir, I was very surprised. I've never met a better group of boys in my life. They probably would have if it'd been like everybody thought. I mean, everybody thought I wouldn't have to work and I would be given special treatment and this and that. But when they looked around and saw I was on KP and I was pulling guard and everything just like they were, well, they figured, well, he's just like us.
Elvis, what do you think about going to Germany?
Well, sir, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I mean, just before I came in the Army, we were planning a tour of Europe. And I got quite a bit of mail from over there and everything, you know, and I'm kind of looking forward to it, really.
Arriving in Germany was something else. I'd never been out of the States before except for one weekend when I played in Canada. It was some kind of surprise that welcome the German fans gave me. I just couldn't believe it. It was as wild as anything back home.
How do you serve in the Army? How do you serve when outside the base? Like all of the community is like trying to break down the wall to get to you. Man, the power of celebrity back then was just so amazing. Like you were such a global star. Like
I'm stunned that they didn't have a boat for him to get away with, you know, from just how, you know what I mean. Sorry, I had a sativa Biden moment there.
Hey, man! I look.
Come
man,
on, man!
Come on, man! Look, is Matlock on?
Watch out for the Uranians.
Yeah. Oh, those damn Iranians again, man! They're bad news like corn pop. Hey, Joe, it's not the Iranians. Hey, dumb son of a bitch.
All right. So what we like to do around here, part of pop culture, is we like to go back into the time machine. We like to look up reviews of movies like when they came out back in the day, right? So we want to see what the critics had to say back then, what the general feeling was for the public. And we have a couple of goodies lined up for us tonight. The first one being Suburban Commando.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, yes.
It blew my mind when I was.
All right, brother. Let's watch Suburban Commando.
All right. So here's a quick trailer, and then we'll go over and we'll see what Roger Ebert had to say about this movie.
Charlie Wilcox is having a bad day. But help is on the way. And his name is Chef Ramsay.
I'm here to rent the apartment.
Suburban Commando.
Honey, it's for you.
It's Hulk Hogan, like you've never seen him before. Skateboarding, child raising, crime fighting.
It's the mailman.
Charlie Wilcox has just discovered the solution for all life's problems.
Leave a message or take a seat. I said take a seat. Funny. That's real funny.
Sometimes I just get carried away.
I'm just your landlord. I bring you an extra bar of soap when you need it. Being a target for intergalactic bounty hunters is a little out of my line. I was frozen today.
Hulk Hogan.
What a nervous guy.
Christopher Lloyd. Suburban Commando.
You got any idea what we're gonna do to you? You're gonna pound my face.
What are you, nuts? This is the 90s. We're gonna sue you.
How is that not a winner? How is that not a winner? Come on now. That did warm your heart a little bit, like with all. Come on now.
I love Suburban Commando. Undertaker was in that movie too.
Yeah, actually, that's the one thing I thought.
When I saw that, I didn't realize what kayfabe was yet, and when I saw them in the movie together, I was like, no way. How did they get them to not kill each other?
I don't remember. Was the other guy somebody else, or was that just an actor? The other bad guy.
He might have been somebody. I don't remember though.
Oh, I think he was another wrestler. I can't remember which specific. See, that's the terrible thing, though. At the same time, I still have more respect for like most of the jobbers that like worked in the 80s and 90s in WWE than I have for like a lot of people that are like headlining some shit right now.
Yeah.
I heard that they were supposed to get Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito to play the movie at one point in time, rather than Christopher Lloyd and Hulk Hogan. Yep.
Wow.
That'd be. It was just another feud.
It would have just been a sequel to Commando, right?
The intergalactic bounty hunters chasing me. I need an apartment.
There's commandos in space.
See, the problem is that Hogan didn't have like that power wife. Like The Rock got a power wife. Like even as an ex-wife, she still like books him and makes sure he makes more money than anybody else in their like little group.
That's true.
Henry Cavill is like like so underserved by working under The Rock's wife. But with that, here is what Roger Ebert had to say in 1991 about Hulk Hogan's work.
Mayon, are you reading?
Yes, you're gonna read, miss.
The one, I don't know if you guys noticed, it had 1 star.
1 star.
1 star.
So the rating system goes from thumbs down to 4 stars. So this is a 1-star review.
All right.
Stunned.
It's a funny thing about coming attraction trailers. They may not be accurate reflection of the movies they advertise, but they're almost always a wonderful guide to what the movie the distributors wanted to make. Take Suburban Commando, for example, which in the trailers looks like a wild comic romp through sci-fi and the suburbs, and in the movie version looks more like a slog. This is the second feature starring Hulk Hogan, the man who looks like a comic strip hero. Hogan's range is limited, but not as limited as the movies he's appeared in. Despite the fact that his public image is often aimed at children, there's a whole line of Hulk Hogan toys. His first film, No Holds Barred, 1989, was surprisingly violent, sexist, and blood-soaked. Now here's Suburban Commando, which is at its least innocuous, but which gives the Hulksters so much to do that his fans may wonder why he bothered.
You're saying these things like they're negative.
Yeah.
Super neg.
Ebert's not always a fan. Oh, is it really short? That's the end?
This is short. Yeah, this is a short one.
Usually Ebert's stuff go on. Yeah.
No, he's to the point on this one. He's concise.
The movie's prologue takes place in outer space, where Shep Ramsey Hogan is an intergalactic bounty hunter. Ever wonder, by the way, how much of a bounty they have to pay to finance an intergalactic hunt? After a space battle with his archenemy, suitor, William Ball, Hogan's crippled ship lands on Earth, where he quickly becomes a confidant of the rather strange Wilcox family. Charlie Wilcox, played by Christopher Lloyd, the mad scientist of Back to the Future movies, and his wife Jenny, Shelley Duvall, don't suspect that Hogan is actually from outer space. I mean, why should they? If Hulk Hogan turned up at your door, where would you think he looked like he was from, aside from the funny pages? But Charlie is an inventor of sorts, and after he stumbles over Hogan's ship, there is much nonsense involving Earthlings getting caught up in the middle of a battle between creatures from other worlds. Somebody was asking the other day, do I ever get tired of going to the movies? Nah, I said, I love movies, and so some days it's not really a job. It's more like a lucky break. But I wasn't feeling lucky the day I saw Suburban Commando. And you know what? By golly, by the time it was over, I was feeling kind of tired of going to the movies.
No!
What a turd. I'm glad he's dead.
No. Oh, man. He's just he's savage. Oh, he was not feeling it.
I didn't realize his name was Chef. I thought they said Chef Ramsay. Would have been a much more interesting movie.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, though, do you guys remember watching that movie? I remember. I had fond memories of it as a kid. I don't think that like it is like translate into a movie that's gonna like hold up over time. But I think if you're a kid, you could show it to your son, and it's something you could probably stomach. You know?
Yeah, it was full of just dumb fun movies that kids could go to the theaters and enjoy.
I mean, he was like Mr. Nanny after this, right? Like that was like,
yeah. Like I remember my brother and I going to see No Holds Barred when that was in the theater. I don't think we saw Suburban Commando until it was out on VHS. So
I mean, that's what I saw too. Was VHS.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that like Vince would then try to like capitalize on this and turn it into a wrestling event, and he tried to take No Holds Barred and like turn it into WrestleMania, and that just you had an actor, not a wrestler, and you didn't even take the time to try to train him. You know what I mean? Like maybe if you gave him to some really, really good guys, and they took a lot, like 6 or 7 months or something with him, you might be able to like pull something out, like some movie shit off at WrestleMania. I mean, WWE's got some good production, but like what they did was just ridiculous.
It was a different era. It was a different time.
But you didn't notice. You just like, oh wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. I mean, I'd take that Zeus match over watching Lawrence Taylor in the ring again.
Oh, Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam Bigelow. Oh, oh. That I don't know. We're doing the Monday Night Wars on my co-host channel right now. We're going through that, and we just sat through Kevin Green and Mongo at that at Great American Bash '96 in Baltimore, and I was like, Kevin Green. Oh, I'm a WCW like diehard. Like
dude, 96 Baltimore. Oh God.
Mongo, baby.
It's right before, but dude, Hall and Nash just debuted on Nitro, and you're going into Bash the Beaches next. You know, they start the beat down. So you got Austin 316 just happened at King of the Ring. Like I remember that as a teenager, like recording it on 2 VCRs at my parents' house. Because my dad was always gone, so my mom was like, do whatever you want, I don't care. And I'm like, I'm recording wrestling on 2. Yeah, oh, God. That was like trading tapes with my friends. You know, I mean, that was like the best time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Was the 90s till about 01, honestly. And after
that,
I just was like...
Oh, no. Like, when I was... Okay, so I remember this, like, because I graduated in, like, 2002, and I was in the Marine Corps by 2005. So by 2005, I fell out, like, hard on that stuff, and I was, like, more into MMA. But... 2000, like from before that though, like up until I was in the Marine Corps and I went in like 21, I was at like the bar or something, you know what I mean? I went from like watching Raw in high school to like we would be at the bar like after getting off at the factory or something, like watching Raw at, like it was big enough, it was such a big thing, like people actually went places and they played it on TV screens at bars, like it was a thing for a long time. Like I spent a long time playing pool and watching Raw. Couple of years, like
for me it was just late 80s early 90s was my love of wrestling. WWF they call it I hate that hate WWF.
WWF is my favorite. I think it's completely ridiculous that the World Wildlife Foundation won that suit, because I mean, clearly, like, they weren't even like close. You know what I mean? Like, one has a panda and one is like this big gold Gotti thing that you've known forever. Like they're two completely different logos. They're not. There's no way that you're going to confuse either. Like what's going on there?
I do love there's that shirt of the panda. It says WWF, but it's the panda with the steel chair.
The chair. It's funny you're talking about the old. I've got the old LJN 1983 ring hanging up on the wall. It's one I had from when I was a kid. I still have some of the wrestlers from it, but
I have some of those bendy ones, like those with the wires.
Dude, the bendies, like
the bendies are better than the plastic ones. I like the bendy
by
way
far.
better than the plastic ones.
Yeah,
they're way more durable.
I had like Junkyard Dog. I had Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
See that's what I missed. It was the gimmicks. You know, they don't do gimmicks, just dudes in black tights now. You know, I want the gimmicks. Give me that stuff. You know,
speaking of,
it's like watching a comic book.
Like, I picked up a Hurricane.
Nice.
Target like a few weeks ago, because I was just like, oh my god, Hurricane. Yeah.
You're here.
He'll always be Sugar Shane Helms a 3 count to me. With Tank Abbott singing
look at
back
that
up.
logo though. That's just beautiful.
Oh no, that's the perfect logo. I hate this new stuff that they do is terrible, and I like the original belt. The original gold belt with the eagle on it. That's the best belt. I'm sorry, all this other gold spinner, whatever other shit that they've done with it. Now it just looks like fake jewelry or like a pop watch or some kind of like shit you would buy at the mall. Whereas like the original belt looked like something. It looked like something that. Like,
I've got one of those old, you know, that old replica belt back there next to my Rumble chair. But you know,
nice.
because it's you bought it recently. It's that same logo, but they knocked off the F part, so it's just the W. But I appreciate that they at least made the effort to try and make a version of that logo. Even if they can't put the F on there anymore.
I mean, it's just watered down anyways. A Universal Champ, Raw Champ, SmackDown Champ. No. There needs to be one World Heavyweight Champ. Just period. Boom. That's just there. If you want to have a European Champ and an Intercontinental Champ, maybe okay. But like once you start getting past that, and even that's kind of like, you know, World Heavyweight Champ, maybe a couple other belts for lower weights.
I just feel like, you know, you got what is it? What are the current ones? Universal and
then tag teams. I wish tag teams would come back. Tag teams, the death of tag teams is like the worst thing that ever happened to wrestling. Tag teams are like one of the great. It's like the most spectacular wrestling you'll ever see.
Oh yeah,
that I spent most of my career working in a tag team, and that was. I loved it. I didn't mind doing the occasional singles because we'd split for TV tapings, and one of us would work the first taping and the second, and you know we'd do separate matches a couple times, and yeah, I didn't like doing the single stuff as much because there was like 8 guys in our stable, but when we'd work our tag gimmicks, it'd just be me, my boy James, and his wife, who was our valet, which that ended well. But you bring your wife around the business, please, and see how that works out.
Always a bad idea.
Nothing in entertainment should your woman be around.
Nope. I love tag team wrestling though. That's the most entertaining part of it. And there was so many good tag teams in the 90s. That's why I like WCW, man. The luchadors and the tag stuff. I didn't like how they'd finish their matches most of the time. Thanks, Kevin Sullivan. At least you booked yourself into a divorce, but that's another story, you know. But there was, man. They had so many good teams back then. I mean,
can you say that Kevin Sullivan, like, you know, he created a lot of magnificent wrestling storylines, and he paid a lot of personal sacrifice. Like, he might be like one of the realest wrestlers, like, you know, that has existed. Like, and paid the biggest price for it.
Yep,
well,
he was always.
I mean, he didn't pay the biggest price for it. I mean,
let's be honest.
we all know what that black magic voodoo he was doing did. But yeah, it's crazy when you really think back, especially with WCW and the stuff that he was a part of and putting together, and even the hokiest, cheesiest shit like the Etep Like
the Yeti.
Just the whole Dungeon of Doom. Just the biggest collection of.
that was like the land of misfit toys, though. I mean, look at you had Brutus Beefcake wrestled as the Zodiac, the one, and then like the next week he's the Booty Man.
The Zodiac was a character he debuted in Mr. Nanny in the opening sequence. If anyone's ever seen it.
Oh my God! Wow. Holy crap!
Oh. Yeah, but
it's funny looking back on these. When I was little, I didn't realize he was a stripper when I was little till way later. Kind of awkward. Like, oh, I used to love that guy. Oh.
I always felt bad for Conan being in the Dungeon of Doom because he was like the one cool guy.
Yeah. His look when he was just Conan and he was he's like US champ right now. His look is so it's so different. And then he goes to wearing the gangster type clothes as K-Dog. I was like I said, I'm a NWO. I always was, and that's like we did with our stable. When I came in, I said we're gonna turn this into the NWO, and the promoter's like, what? I'm like, just give me free reign creatively, and trust me, we'll make money, and that's what we kind of did. We took everything, and it worked. But it's like I said, that was our whole inspiration for our tag team. We were basically the freaking outsiders. The way I came into the promotion and the things that we did. Oh yeah, we pulled up in my Yukon. 6 of us get out and just start beating the hell out of this dude, Uncle Hector, outside the arena. Come dragging him in the start of the taping. It was funny. We get out. We had bats. I was like, we're getting bats. We're all getting bats. We had bats at one point. We all jump out of the truck with bats, just beating the hell out of these 2 guys out front. Like right at the start of the TV, came in for the first show like that. It was fun. I was like, and they just let us book our angles how we wanted. I'm like, we're gonna do this. It'll coincide with what you're doing, but this is how we're gonna do it. So, and they gave us creative reign. It was a blast. That was like the best point.
So something a little bit more fun, but if you were hot on that era of that like WCW era, you do remember that they used to bring in a lot of actors, and one particular actor has gone on to do a lot of crazy things since, but he did fucking make quite a splash with this.
Is that Bam Bam?
Dude, now can I tell you, like, I love that time frame of movie. I feel like that was like the cusp of rated R before it started to go out, right? Like before rated R like completely just dive on. There was like a point where it just got softer and softer and softer. We had the height. What happened to everybody just being completely terrible to each other? Like, it was fun. Everybody had a lot of fun just saying the most, like, you know what I mean? Like, everything in the 90s was extreme, including the comedy and like the things that you said to people and how you treated people. Like, it was just out of like good humor. Like, if you were another intelligent person, you understood like what the other person was doing when they're razzing you or whatever, right? Yeah. And it just seems like that's a dead thing in this culture. Like, in 2022, I miss it. Miss the banter. I miss the fun. I miss like the boy, like straight boys comedy. I mean, that was like ridiculous.
Had like a brief little revival, like around like Old School and Hangover and that stuff for a little bit, and then kind of fizzled out again.
Yep. Yeah, but even that was trying to go highbrow. That was like a bunch of SNL guys that were trying to prove that they were better than John Candy. Yeah, like that's what like what it is that like, SNL has always been haunted by Second City. Yeah. And all the great like if you really look at it, all the most powerhouse people who have done movies out of like an improv show, Second City is where all the real powerhouses came from, and like they tried all these SNL people tried to like have that come up, but they just weren't as prolific. I'm just sorry, like you just can't beat John Candy's body of work. No. Like, it's impossible. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like, get the fuck Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck. I was just gonna say Uncle Buck. That's such a great movie.
Great Outdoors.
Great.
Where he eats the fucking steak and pukes, and they have the grizzly bear that shoot like Dan Aykroyd. Like, get the fuck out of here. You can't beat that duo.
Yeah, Mark. Me and your friend Eric Hansen were reminiscing about Canadian bacon on Twitter today.
Nice.
Oh God.
Oh man, Rick Moranis is like so underrated. Like people just remember for like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but like he did so much other more prolific and better
Little
work.
Shop of Horrors.
Oh man,
yeah.
The hockey one,
Strange Brew,
Slapshot. No, not Slapshot.
He wasn't in Slapshot, was he?
Yeah, no. Slapshot was like people beating each other up.
Yeah, that was a hockey movie.
Yeah, not Slapshot. I can't remember the name of the movie though.
Can I say that I'm mad at Rob Zombie? Out of all the movies that he took like years to put out, was like House of a Thousand Corpses, and that wouldn't be nearly as interesting as this hockey movie that he's talked about doing for fucking ever. Like, I want to see the hockey movie.
Remember that?
Oh yeah. There was like a I forget which team it was, but there's a team. It was like their first season. They were infamous for like beating the shit out of everybody.
He was going to do it on the Broad Street Bullies, the Flyers.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah.
Shoot, no way. Yeah, that's way better than Halloween.
Oh God, don't even get me started on those Halloween movies he did. Oh.
That's where my head immediately went. Was like, is this going to be like a horror movie on ice? Like,
well, he redid the Munsters. He's doing the Munsters now. He's doing that. It's
Is he?
Mockingbird Lane.
No.
Yeah. I'm like, so is it? Every Rob Zombie movie, it's like, how's he going to find an excuse to work it in for Sherry to show off the goods in the Munsters? I'm like, this is like kind of family friendly. I'm like, let's see how it goes. It's like Rob Zombie either, it's like nonstop F-bombs or, the old see you next Tuesday. That's Rob Zombie's go-to. I'm like, I don't think that'll work with Munsters.
I mean, what if it turns out he's just really good at kids movies all of a sudden? Like, you can just...
Oh, yeah, what?
He's a savant.
What is that? Why did it do that? That was weird. Share screen. I'm gonna attempt this again. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Okay, there. That was weird. So, Ready to Rumble has 2 stars from Roger Ebert.
Okay, I cannot agree with that just on, like, sight of 2 stars over Suburban Commando.
2000. No. The last time he rated a wrestling movie was 1991. This is 2000, and he's had time to grow and expand his mind, and he's given 2 stars.
But that's bullshit. I think we can all agree that's bullshit. Suburban Commando is a superior film to this. I mean, sorry. The review.
I mean, it depends on how much of a Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan fan you were.
I love Suburban Commando, but I don't think I would ever say it's a better movie than anything.
I would say that this is the downfall of...
I understand what I'm getting when I get Suburban Commando.
I mean, David Arquette, like, look, this does have David. This has Diamond Dallas Page in it. Diamond Dallas Page is fucking awesome. If he could do one interview nowadays without hawking DDP yoga in between it would be amazing, because he's got some like great stories, but like everything is a sales pitch for DDP yoga current year to date. It's terrible.
Now, isn't this also the movie where Cena makes his debut before he was a wrestler? I don't know if that's the right movie.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. John Cena, whatever.
I don't think so.
John, look. When John Cena apologized to China for calling Taiwan a country, he was no longer on my list of Americans I pay attention to.
When you said China, I immediately thought of Joni Lauer, China.
He apologized in Chinese, like fuck him wholesale. Like no, Taiwan's a country, and I'm sorry you don't like it, China. Get over it. We're America. We got the big dicks. Like, we're supposed to tell you what's up. You don't want to buy our entertainment? Then good. Then 1 billion people can be fucking bored. Whatever.
Moving on.
He took the time to learn the language.
Ni hao.
Very heartfelt. Ni hao.
Fade in.
It must be a mixed blessing to be Michael Buffer. He is the man in the tuxedo famous for intoning "Let's get ready to rumble" before sporting events and, for all I know, weddings and bingo games. He is rich and famous, yes, but how many times a day, week, month, lifetime do you suppose he has to listen to people shouting Michael Buffer imitations in his ear? It is as discouraging that the excitement is over for him, just as it's beginning for everyone else. These thoughts ran through my mind during Ready to Rumble. Buffer appears in the movie and duly performs Are You Ready to Rumble? And so earnestly was I not ready to rumble that I wanted the camera to follow him out of the arena instead of staying for a 3-cage fight to the death between Jimmy the King and Diamond Dallas Page. It's not that I have anything against professional wrestling. I have newfound respect for the sport after seeing the documentary Beyond the Mat, which establishes without a shadow of a doubt a doubt that when you are thrown out of the ring in a scripted fight with a prearranged winner, it nevertheless hurts when you hit the floor. I am in awe of wrestlers, not as athletes, but as masochists. They take a licking and keep on kicking. The problem with Ready to Rumble is that its hero is not a wrestler, but an actor, Oliver Platt. Platt is a good comedic or comic actor that I have liked him in a lot of movies, but here he is not well used and occupies a role that would have been better filled by a real wrestler. That is demonstrated every time Diamond Dallas Page is on the screen, playing himself with such ferocity that Platt seems to be playing Jimmy the King in a key only heard by himself.
They should have just got Lawler. They really should have just got Jimmy the King Lawler. I mean, to be honest, like,
was his gripe with the movie that they got an actor instead of a wrestler? That's why he gave it 2 stars.
He's not liking that part right now. Yep.
We'll go up. This is not a long review.
Movie critics.
The plot is easily summarized. Dumb and Dumber meets Dumb Bell. David Arquette and Scott Kahn are Gordy and Sean, best pals in Wyoming Hamlet, where watching the Monday night fights on cable brings the only joy into their lives as sanitation servicemen. By day, they suction out the contents of porta potties, and by night, they hang out in the parking lot of convenience stores, lecturing callow youths on the glories of wrestling as America's finest sport. They get tickets to the King's latest title defense, little realizing that the real kingmaker is Titus Sinclair, Joe Pantoliano. This movie's version of Vince McMahon. Titus has declared that the King will go down to Diamond Dallas, and by the end of the fight, the loser has been kicked insensible by everyone on the card and banished from wrestling as a hopeless drunk. When Gordy and Sean's tank truck overturns on the way home, creating a really nasty spill for the fire department to clean up, they take this as a sign that they must leave their town, find the King, and mastermind his comeback. Their plan involves enlisting the once great, now aging Sal Bandini, Martin Landau, as a trainer. The King is not thrilled. I don't need a trainer. I need a safe house. He's right. Landau's scenes demonstrate that as an elderly wrestler, he looks no more convincing than he did as a dying millionaire disco dancer in Baps. He's good in serious stuff. Hint. The movie is best when it deals with professional wrestling, and worst, which is most of the time, when it prefers a wheezy prefab plot to the possibilities of its subject. The machinations of a sexpot, Rose McGowan, are tired and predictable, and Platt, who might have done something with decent dialogue, is left on the sidelines while Arquette and Kane shout at each other in a forlorn attempt to reproduce the chemistry of Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels and Dumb and Dumber. I gave that movie only 2 stars, even though its dead parakeet scene caused me to laugh uncontrollably. Now, after sitting through Ready to Rumble with only the occasional grudging "ha," I know better what a 2-star movie looks like.
Oh, damn. He said, I'm going to retract that 2-star. It's about to be a 3-star review.
Basically saying he knows nothing about what he's reviewing is what I hear.
Look, no. What he's saying is, this was the 90s, like, soy boy, right? Or like the back in the day soy boy. This is a person who didn't have fun playing in the dirt, roughhousing with his friends. Like, if he got like some nuggies or something, like he was mad about it, you know what I mean? Like, he wasn't, it wasn't all in good fun. So like, of course, like this was way too rough, and it reminded him of getting picked on as a child, is what I'm feeling. That's all I'm saying.
Chicken man was dead. That's what
we do these in threes, and our final movie review for the evening is something a little more serious. It came in later in the decade. There's some mixed reviews from wrestlers and wrestling fans about this, but this is the trailer for The Wrestler.
Oh.
Great to meet you. 1, 2, rail! Really good. You really brought it. Thank you.
You hang in there, you got a lot of ability.
Have you ever seen a one-trick pony and feel so happy and free?
Well, I was wondering if I could get some more work.
All I got is weekends. Isn't that when you sit on other dudes' faces?
Have you ever seen a one-legged dog?
Have a beer with me? One beer.
You
have a daughter?
Oh, my daughter, she don't like me very much.
You should call her.
And you seen me.
What do you want from me?
I'm an old, broken-down piece of meat, and I deserve to be all alone. I just don't want you to hate me.
And you seen me, but I
2 words. Rematch.
Bring it. You know, with a little luck, this could be my ticket back on top.
Tell me, friend, can you ask for anything?
80s man, best ever.
Guns N' Roses.
Crew.
Yeah, then that Cobain had to come around and ruin it all.
90s sucked.
90s sucked.
These things that have comforted me, I drive away. My only faith's in the broken bones and bruises I display.
You know, the only place I get hurt is out there.
I'm really here.
This life you can lose everything you love, everything that loves you. A lot of people told me.
Oh, God damn it. Yeah, I always play the line. Look, I play the line a lot. I like try to. I mean, sometimes I get the trailers from different spots. Sometimes, usually, I run them through another channel, and they tell me that I'm going down. But I don't know. Sometimes, like live, it doesn't matter. That's all right. We'll get back. We'll get to the review.
They were okay with all the other ones. It was, the wrestler that they didn't want you to.
I fucking like crossed somebody's dick that like they didn't like. Oh, whatever.
Somebody who loves Eber.
Yeah. They're big.
You gotta admit, it has a good soundtrack, though.
It does.
The
Yeah.
That song, that Bruce song, is pretty rad.
Let's see. God damn. You know what's funny about this is that like this channel, I share this channel with another person, right? And so like right now, he's like sleeping for work or whatever, and he's getting all these emails that are giving him an alarm that are waking him up.
Oh, no.
Every time there's a copyright alarm or whatever, it like goes straight to his email and alerts his phone. That's all right. We'll be okay.
I was wondering how you get away with like 90% of all this.
I do. Some of it I do. Some of it I do, and some of it I don't. And then also,
Actually, the last stream, I think it was another trailer that you were playing that we got struck, and it might have been the stream before that too.
Yeah, it was.
That might have been the first time. At least struck where the stream ended for our stream unavailable.
We got that.
I mean, like the other thing is that I could do is I could filter the stuff. Like it's a video editing process, right?
We do we do on our channel. We do a Name That Death game where you play movie clips of different death scenes, and you have to guess the movie. And I always, before every show, I reverse it. I put like this crazy filter on it. It's like on top of another background just to avoid.
We're back.
Wow.
It takes way too long just to prepare 7 short 3-second clips.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's like the power advantage. Like when you watch all those podcasts like professional wrestlers have, right? And it's like some kind of network. Well, there's some kind of guy financing an editor to go through and like scramble both the audio and like, put a filter, like a color filter, and maybe like digitize, like just mess it up just enough that you can get away with like showing whatever it is. Kurt Angle, I think like probably has the biggest podcast where you'll watch like these funky clips or whatever. Oh, but with that, we'll see. Let's see what Roger Ebert had to say about The Wrestler.
Brilliant, heartfelt, amazing movie.
Now, The Wrestler got 4 stars, so he really liked this movie. I feel like this just like rode with him because there was like some kind of like social reason for him, like some kind of like boost
this
here.
movie was critically acclaimed. Like it had a lot of like nominations.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like the story of the people who were either drug addicts or like who were pissed poor with managing their money, because these people were making money like when the money was worth like 5 times as much as it is now, and like gas prices were like under $1. You know, I mean, like under 50 cents, depending on the decade. So, I mean, like it's completely different era and circumstances and how hard it was to live. Like, if you ended up as one of these guys, like you just were just bad at managing yourself, or just didn't know when to leave early enough to, focus on a new career.
Mm.
All right, you ready?
Oh, yeah, go for it.
The wrestler is but a man who can do one thing well and keeps on doing it because of need, weary skill, and pride. He wrestles for a living. Pro wrestling is a fake sport, right? Yes, but as an activity, it's pretty real. I watched on TV with fascination. It's scripted that the villain sneaks up on the hero who pretends not to see him and pushes him over the ropes and out of the ring. Fake. But when that hero hits the floor, how fake is that? Those guys learn how to fall, people tell me. Want to sign up for the lessons? Mickey Rourke plays the battered, broke, lonely hero Randy, the Ram Robinson. This is the performance of his lifetime and will win him a nomination, may win him the Oscar. Like many great performances, it has an element of truth. Rourke himself was once young and glorious and made big bucks. He did professional boxing just for the hell of it. He alienated a lot of people. He fell from grace and stardom, but kept working because he was an actor and that was what he did. Now here is his comeback role, playing Randy the Ram's comeback. This is Rourke doing astonishing physical acting. He has the physique of a bodybuilder, perhaps thanks to some steroid use, which would also be true of Randy. He gets into the ring and does the work. Rourke may not be physically performing every single thing we see, including leaps off the ropes and ladders and the nasty falls. Special effects have robbed movies of their believability. But I've seen a lot of effects, and I have to say it looked to me like he was really doing these things. Not that it matters, it appears that he is, and his ring performances and the punishment he takes supply the bedrock for the story, which involves his damaged relationship with his daughter Stephanie, Evan Rachel Wood, and what he hopes will become a relationship with the stripper Cassidy, Marissa Tomei. Except for his backstage camaraderie with other wrestling old-timers, Randy has burned all his bridges in life. Stephanie is far, far from happy to see him on her doorstep again, and doesn't quite believe Cassidy, whose real name is Pam, when she carefully explains that she is not available. Here is the irony, which he won't accept. Cassidy is as much as a performer as Randy. He is a ring worker. She is a sex worker. They put on a show and give the customers what they want. It pays the rent. There was always a chasm between pros and their audiences. That's why so many showbiz people marry each other. Musicians say the trick is told when the trick is sold. Think about that. But Randy has grown a little wiser with the years, less blinded by stardom, more able to admit emotional need. Maybe, too, he was using more drugs in those days, and they always take first place before relationships. He gets a sales pitch from a fellow wrestler who seems to stock more drugs than Walgreens. Randy has a residual charm and sentimentality which helps him and also deceives him. He makes some small progress with his daughter. As for Cassidy, have you ever seen Marissa Tomei play a bitch? I haven't. I don't know if she can. She seems to have something good at the heart of her that endows the strippers with warmth and sympathy. Not that Randy should get his hopes up. The most fascinating element in Darren Aronofsky's film is the backstage detail about wrestling. He does this so well, yet has never made a film even remotely like this before. In the snow and slush of New Jersey, Randy and his opponents make the rounds of shabby union halls, schools, gyms, community centers, and American Legion halls, using whatever they can find for dressing rooms, tapping their damaged parts, psyching themselves up, and agreeing beforehand on the script. We learn how they make themselves bleed, prepare for violent surprises, talk through each other, match, and they go out and do it. As nearly as I can tell, their planning only means that they get hurt in the ways they expect and not in unforeseen ways. I cared as deeply about Randy the Ram as any movie character I've seen this year. I cared about Mickey Rourke too. The way this role in this film unfolds that almost amounts to the same thing. Rourke may not win the Oscar for Best Actor, but it would make me feel good to see him up there. It really would. And then it says, note, The Wrestler is one of the year's best films. It wasn't on my best film list for complicated and boring reasons.
One of the best year's films, but I won't say it's one of the best year's films.
I mean, I like you, but I don't.
But that's
like
not
you
even
like
one
you.
of Mickey Rourke's best films. I mean, if you know anything about Mickey Rourke, like, first of all, this is plastic
Expendables is
surgery.
his best movie ever.
Well, I mean, this is plastic surgery era, like Mickey Rourke. Before that, like Mickey Rourke was like an '80s heartthrob, and he had like a mess of movies, and he had some movies that were kind of like outlandish, like Angel Heart is like one of them, where it's like this whole crazy. Like, there's a bunch of good movies that he did, and I just feel like he's got like dwindled down to his career at that point.
What was it, like Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man? Is that him?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck it. That was one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. So crazy. My dad had this propensity of like being an alcoholic, and so he would just watch whatever the fuck he wanted to watch on TV, and the general rule of the house was as long as I didn't like repeat things or like act inappropriate, basically I just didn't embarrass them in public from some shit I saw on TV, I was allowed to watch whatever. So my dad would just like, he was like, Death Wish, like, hey son, you're 6 years old, do you want to see Death Wish? Yes I do.
A similar experience with some cousins, but it was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
No, I was like when I became like when I was like a preteen, like 12, like they're like around 11, 12 or whatever. And I would like spend the night at my cousin's house. They were actually censored because the rest of the family was like Roman Catholic and solid about it. And they were completely censored. I'd be like, why aren't we allowed to rent this movie? Why can't we rent it? We go to the video store. Why can't I rent Jason Goes to Hell? It seems like an awesome movie. Like we can watch Monty Python.
Yeah, the best was I grew up and all my whole VHS collection was just whatever was recorded off of TV. So I grew up watching like Lethal Weapon and Die Hard and Predator 2 and all this stuff until later you come to see like the actual movies and like your head almost explodes. Like, what? This is amazing.
Well, gentlemen, we've come to the part of the show where we do a little bit of a break, right? And we like to travel back in time, and we like to hit that button in that retro time machine. We like to see things from all different decades to give us that warm and fuzzy like feeling of that nostalgia blanket that I think is probably the most popular thing in America today based on movie sales. But I'm going to hit that button right now.
Before you go, everybody's still good on time? I don't know if you guys... Nobody has to leave right off, right? If we continue more. All right.
I'm good for now.
All right. Well, we're rocking and rolling. We got a full panel. And right now we're going to hit that button. And we're going to see some amazing wrestling stuff. I think this is going to spark some good conversation in the second hour. So here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0.
Come on, you guys. It's only a little. Giant! A hungry giant!
Hungry for a big honey taste.
Honeycomb big! Yeah! Big, big crunch for a big, big bite! Honeycomb cereal, part of this big, complete breakfast. Honeycomb the big, big bite!
Yo! Hey, everybody, this is Jerry the King Lawler. Only Fireworks City has the main event rocket assortment. A $25 value for only $7.50. That's a 70% discount. For fireworks that are really out of this world, follow me to Fireworks City. Oh no, I really hate this part.
Introducing WWF Wrestling Buddies. Wrestling Buddies from Tonka. Punk 'em, pop 'em. Wrestling Buddies are looking for action.
Hey, fellas, what's going on?
Nothing, Dad.
Who do you think you are?
That's Hulk Hogan.
Wrestling Buddies want to be your buddy.
Henry, what's going on up there?
Nothing, dear.
WWF Wrestling Buddies, new from Tonka.
Yeah, the next bitches of your eye.
Now watch me waste the Macho Man with acclaimed WrestleMania for the Nintendo Entertainment System. A leg drop, an elbow smash, a body slam!
WWF WrestleMania from Acclaim. Ooh, yeah, I want a rematch.
Ventura talking to you from the Chicago Lake Liquor Store, across from Sears in Minneapolis. Where should you turkeys go to buy your beer? Chicago Lake Liquor Store. You can get the finest in domestic beer as well as imported beer. You can drink little bottles or drink it like the body does.
It's the new energy drink ahead of the bunch. This is YJ Stinger, baby, pound and punch. You get a rush of energy every time you take a pull. All them other drinks, man, they filled with bull. This is the real deal, baby, and the facts are true. You want a boost? Grab a Stinger made by Stack or Two. You know how we do. This drink is #1. Helps energy, performance, concentration. So go and get one or grab them by the case. Look for the Stinger can with the yellow jacket face. Drink kicks ass. I don't care about wings. So go and catch the buzz and feel the sting.
If your friends got a hold on you, here's what you gotta do. Bring home all the action. You'll get more satisfaction when you bring home all the action. Get a grip, get a lock, get a hold on everyone. You'll have all the thrills, all the fun. Bring home all the action. And now the WWF Superstars. Bring home all the action. From LJN.
Check this out. Isn't this stuff cool? It's the new WCW official merchandise, and it's excellent. They've got foam fingers, fan packs, tote bags, championship belts, clocks, something for everyone. And this is my favorite. I bought it all, and so can you. Just call toll-free to order your WCW catalog at...
If I have to fold one more box, I'm gonna snap.
Did you say snap? Snap into a Slim Jim! Need a little excitement? Snap into a Slim Jim!
That's right, the madman's back. I'm the warrior. You know who I am. But rumor has it, you think you got what it takes to be a pro wrestler. Well, now's the best opportunity you'll ever have. Because success in pro wrestling is much more dependent on uniqueness and personality and character. Athletic ability. And desire like a warrior. If you think you got what it takes, call Warrior University.
Stand-up guy who never backs down from a tough interview. Well, now I'm going toe-to-toe with the Big Burger Boys with my Mean Gene Burgers. And this is your chance to order a Mean Gene t-shirt. Mean Gene's Burgers.
The burger that says, "Bite me."
Wear it to work, to a party, to your next court appearance, wherever you want to make a real fashion statement. Call the number on your screen and order yours now.
Call now.
Boom.
Explode energy drink. Animal sa lakas. Todo sa sarap.
Sarap power.
It's the WWF Wrestling Superstars game, where you manage the world's greatest wrestlers. Rowdy Piper, the Iron Sheik, even Hulk Hogan. You decide who wrestles who.
Piper versus Mr. Wonderful.
The Hole.
The Sheik's getting body slammed. Oh, yes.
And when to pin.
Dragon.
He's pinned.
Just like I called it.
Be a wrestling manager, pimp down the Superstars team. And wrestle with 4 sensational puzzles, too. From Milton Bradley.
Let me get one of those energy shots.
Woo! You're about to get robbed. Pay less and get a fuel in the bottle energy shot packed with B vitamins. It'll rock your world. Woo! Woo!
How wise is it to say you're about to get robbed at a convenience store?
I mean, Ric Flair's got away with words. Let me tell you, like, what I love about A's kids is they could just sell us any fucking thing, dude. They could just make any goddamn thing. This is why, like, crowdfunding works
We're
so
down
good
again.
for 80s kids. Oh, wait.
For the third time, by the way.
Oh, God, what took us down that time?
They're not liking us tonight. Apparently one of the commercials.
I didn't get it blocked when I uploaded that to the other channel.
It's probably one of the modern ones, I bet. You gotta get rid of those old ones.
Oh man, the Stacker 2. Just think about how well that aged, though. The Stacker 2 shit. Like, how many people died from Stacker 2? Like high school athletes died from Stacker 2.
It's insane.
Heart attack pills.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And then oh man, the
I
Mean Gene
remember-
Burgers. The reason why I did the Mean Gene Burger ad is because when I was in the Marine Corps, dude, and I went to Camp Lejeune, one of the weird things in the little like commissary mall thing that was on Camp Lejeune was Mean Gene's Burgers. And I was like, no fucking way. Out of all the fucking places, it's probably like the last franchise of Mean Gene's Burgers that exists. It's on Camp Lejeune.
Mean Gene was great. Yeah, I remember that Andre commercial so well.
Yeah.
Oh, the Honeycombs one, yeah.
Oh, man. Was he dubbed? I didn't realize that.
I always wished Honeycombs like were just a better cereal. Like it always bummed me out.
They wasted it.
Yeah, like
Back now,
why
there we
couldn't you have been on like Honey Smacks or something? You know,
He should have been. He should have been the Lucky Charm guy.
dude.
Hey, look,
Such a
this is the
missed
Outcast
opportunity.
Owls. We go wild here. We get struck down. We keep going. We don't keep going. You know, like, look, this is like our 8th channel. We just keep rolling with, the homies, as in the words of Lewis.
You know something that's weird though? I'm looking at the Outcast Owl channel and I saw it came back, but I'm looking at your channel and it looks like it's still stream unavailable.
It never.
I don't know if people in the chat can confirm that or not. Oh, now I see it back. I
What are
see
you
it back.
Oh, well, this is YouTube.
Sorry.
Isn't it crazy that we spent all these years like listening to Howard Stern and stuff, and like him fighting all these wars, getting like $75,000 or $750,000 like tickets for saying some kind of naughty something on the airwaves, just to get to like YouTube, where it's like privately owned company, not regulated by the FFA, and all of a sudden we still can't say. We can say less.
It's pretty nutty right now.
It makes zero to no sense.
Has anyone tried out Rumble at all? I've been wanting to.
I keep hearing people asking that exact same question.
Like I have a channel on there, but I just upload stuff to it. I don't, I've never tried streaming or anything like that from it.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
I've seen your Odyssey channel. I follow it with all the CGW. Or wait.
Oh, Rumble. Yeah, Rumble. Yeah, it's a Rumble
Oh,
channel. I
Rumble.
just upload stuff. I don't know how it works with streaming.
Oh,
Any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried Odyssey. They like you have to like pay for your stuff or something. They have some weird system for it.
Really? I thought it was that you get paid for putting your stuff.
It looked like there was like a point system, like you can upload, but it costs like so many points, and I don't know. I kind of saw that going downhill fast because I'm not invested enough to
For sure.
Well, I mean, yeah. I guess if you're like a YouTuber that's like a couple 100,000 deep, then yeah, it's probably good to, you jump on Rumble or something where you can like get the return views on your videos or whatever, and get the quick investment. But it's probably not for like it's not the same kind of thing as Google's doing right here, where they're just blowing money having server space for our ridiculousness. However, we like to talk about something great around here. We like to keep the mood up, and we like to talk about babes and bros of the ages. That's right. We keep it sexist. We keep it 90s. We keep it cool here. And we like to objectify people, and we do it on the weekly basis. And last week on babes and bros of the ages, we do ladies versus men. So we do decades, right? So the ladies, we had the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And in the 70s, we had Bo Derek. And she just, even though she was like classic looking with her hair or whatever, that did not play out. Unfortunately for her, Jane Seymour.
Yeah, I thought Bo Derek was like the the 70s babe.
No. Look, Jane Seymour. First of all, her hair goes all the way down to like her ass, which is like amazing. And look at like, do you not see the leather jacket and the like? Oh man, fire in the head, fire in the bed. Like,
oh no, I understand the victory. I just.
I mean, like Bo Derek's over here culturally appropriating shit and whatnot, running on the beach. Forget about her. Then we go over. Now I was surprised by this. I thought Kelly LeBrock might edge out Cindy Crawford, but it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen. Now, Cindy Crawford was one of my favorites, especially with the milk commercials. I don't know if anyone remembers the milk commercial mustache commercials that, like when you're growing up. Oh yeah, Cindy was one of the best.
Yeah, Cindy Crawford. Yeah, that's no competition.
Now, I thought there'd be a little bit of a tighter race on the Battle of the Blondes, but Christina Applegate, hands down, Kelly Bundy just smoke checked the shit out of Clueless. Like it wasn't even like even the thing.
You don't think it's the picture you chose? Look at how sweet and innocent Alicia Silverstone looks in both of those images, but there you have the sexy Kelly.
Yeah, well, I'm from the Midwest, and I'm just gonna tell you that girls that look all sweet like that usually are dirtier than the girls that look all dirty like that. Like the dirty girls require all this extra work. I mean, it's not worth it.
I honestly, no, Amanda, I don't think it was just the pictures. I mean, like you look at, wow, Kelly Bundy.
It's that big 80s metal hair that she had.
Yes.
The Aquanet hairspray up in there, right?
Those were the days.
I mean, she was like the loosest chick. Like she's the worst example of a woman that you'd want today. Like, you know what I mean? Like as a teenage boy, you were like, "Oh, this is amazing," but like as a grown man, you're like, "That'd be the most terrible wife in the world to have."
And when you're doing 70s, 80s, 90s, you're appealing to that inner child, and the inner child remembers Christina Applegate a lot more than it remembers Clueless.
But don't you remember when Alicia Silverstone was taken when she was in the car and she was like kidnapped and stuff? Yeah, no one remembers that.
Is that what did it?
That happened in Clueless? I don't remember that.
No, it wasn't Clueless. It was another. It was a more modern. But we also objectify the males here, and we have some classic hunks. And first up in the 70s, we have Robert Redford versus Burt Reynolds. Now, I thought Robert Redford was going to win because the skew of my channel is mostly female and like more in the older years, and so I really thought Robert Redford was going to beat, but there must be something about this like football, shape.
You didn't even have to use the mustache for the photos.
See, that was going to be my point. Is it's the mustache rides.
Yeah, see though, but if you betted on Burt Reynolds back in the day, you had fun for those years. But like as age went around, I think that Robert Redford won the age game. I think that he, you know what I mean? Like he pretty much looks the same.
He's also won the life game too.
Yeah.
Always important.
Well, then for the 80s, which is just I don't know how David Hasselhoff beat Mickey Rourke, but David Hasselhoff hands down beat the shit out of Mickey Rourke. David Hasselhoff is the king of cheese. Like when I looked up 80s photos of David Hasselhoff, it's all this, like the shit that's on the screen right now. It's all this cheesiness. This is all he did. Like this is him to the T.
Well, how else are you gonna appeal to the German country?
Van der Bar.
Like he is pop cult. Like he's just pop. Like there is no depth to him. There's.
Well, it's like the ridiculousness, no depth is pretty much what the 80s was all about. So
yeah.
But I remember them talking about like Mickey Rourke on Full House, and so I thought that Mickey Rourke would win out, but
kids didn't know Mickey Rourke in the 80s.
Now, what I was also surprised here, Jason Priestley beat Freddie Prinze Jr. out, and I was like really lost. I was like, Freddie Prinze Jr., WWE writer, contributor,
also woke douchebag.
Yeah, that's why he lost.
Yeah, that's probably why he lost. I mean, hey, we're going off of the 90s. We're not going off of 2022 or anything that he wrote for WWE. We're just going off of like how he looked, and like women liked more. I guess they liked the Jason Priestley, the more manly look, because like that bottom picture, you know what I mean? Like I feel like that is more like 70s, 80s man kind of feel, whereas like you got Freddie Prinze here, and he's looking like emo. You know what I mean? Like he looks like the cusp or the beginning of the emo age.
Remember all those shitty Raws from 2002 where it was Evolution on top of everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Freddie's fault.
Hashtag Freddie's fault.
Yeah, I wasn't a Jason Priestley fan. I definitely would have gone for Freddie Prinze.
Man, no.
There's also a lot of jealousy too, because I mean he got Buffy. So.
Well,
so
let's be honest though.
Screw that guy.
I didn't know
you have Buffy.
Normally, right now, I would drop a link into the chat, and it would be like, "Hey, we're gonna do a new set," but we decided to do a wrestling theme this week, and you know what? as great as wrestling is, there is also amazingly sexist in its
so many
inventory of its pictures. So I was
many
not
hot dudes
capable.
for Mark to pick from tonight.
No, yeah. So like when you like if you're going 70s, 80s, 90s, right, and you're like 70s female wrestlers that are attractive. Try finding a picture of a 70s female wrestler first of all.
Try finding a 70s female wrestler first of all.
So then I skipped to the 80s, right? I was like, you know what? Glow happened in the 80s, and Glow was just on Netflix. So there's obviously got to be pictures of Glow wrestlers, right? No, lots of pictures of them right now, but pictures of them back in the day when they're wrestling, non-exist. Like one, they'll have like one for each person, right? Like something they dug out of their scrap album. Nothing that's in print, nothing that you can find in media or that some wrestling fan like recorded or something, right? There's none of that. So what I've come down to is that I have a panel of wrestling experts that have come from different backgrounds or whatever, and I have decided that, you know what, I think we should go AEW versus WWE, men versus women. Who has a sexier roster? Is it WWE or is it AEW? Who's going to pull in the win for the top? If it was a Sports Illustrated swimsuit contest, who would win, AEW or WWE? I'm going to predict WWE, but we have a mix of people here on the panel with various expertise, and I'd like to hear what everyone thinks about that.
I mean, look, my expertise being the 80s, really your options were like Sapphire or Miss Elizabeth. So I'm probably going AEW on this one.
Yeah, you got Sherry Martel too.
Yeah, Sherry. I mean, Sherry was like the thing back in the day.
I mean, talking current though, I would go with WWE only because I mean it's more entertainment based. AEW's more flips and athleticism. So WWE wins for me. But
but like, who are some of your top? Like, who are some of the most attractive on the female roster in the WW or in the AEW? Like, who are some of the people that go? I mean, I feel like Britt Baker's got something going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a Jamie Hayter fan myself.
I
enjoy
myself.
Unless you have an Asian fetish, they're like roster's not very thick.
Sure, you've enjoyed yourself a bit, Nico.
Anna Jay is pretty cute.
Ty Conti, Penelope Ford.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
The bunny.
The bunny. She collects action figures too.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Where are these beautiful wrestling girls like 30 years ago that were collecting action figures?
I'm just gonna say I kind of dig Jade Cargill. I'm not gonna lie.
She's great.
Jade Cargill's gorgeous, and she can work. That's a thing. Like, she's getting there,
This is all foreign language to me. I know nothing of AEW.
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, you know what? I'm like Attitude Era. Like, we used to actually watch wrestling in my college dorm.
You mean
have
like
a wrestling party in my room.
So you're talking about like
Attitude
when
Era.
the divas were just divas and they
The
weren't
divas were
wrestlers
divas,
before
yeah.
the divas became a division.
Yeah, but I didn't worry about the ladies. I was watching the guys.
Well, this is where I would have to say that I agree. I think that both in ladies and gentlemen, that your top winners are gonna be WWE. I'm sorry, WWE has like they have the top talent. Like that's basically what their brand is, right? Is physicality. Now it's changed over the decades in what they like will accept, and they've had a few like little joke acts here and there or whatever, but in the reality, like the overall thing, like the Vince McMahon like mantra is like big man wins. Big man is the most dominant. And I mean, is he not wrong? Like, who's one of the most dominant wrestlers in wrestling history? The Undertaker, and he's a big man. I'm sorry, like it's just big man rules.
Well, and I mean, to the point you were just saying about the appearances and physiques. Look at Nikita Lyons as far as the ladies go. She's
a big hit over on my channel when we do the pod gods.
She's a big hit on my channel too.
You guys were like 10 minutes last night of just people writing the lions in your.
Oh, Leanna was going crazy.
Yeah. Just wow. That I mean, you know, and that's the crazy thing too, like about where we are in the world today.
I feel like Mark missed out on Lita. I feel like most of us are of the age where Lita was like definitely like one of your first loves as a teenager, like in that
Lita
you know.
and Trish.
Yeah, like for real.
Trish.
Tori Wilson though. Tori Wilson. I mean, she couldn't do anything, but she was gorgeous. Her, Stacy,
Man.
Victoria. I like Victoria.
I had the unfortunate pleasure of running into Tori Wilson and Billy Kidman together while they were on the road.
Oh, really?
With
Let's
WWE.
get this one,
dude.
Billy was your 100% Psych 101 small man syndrome, and just such a dick, and such a dick to Tori, and it blew my mind because just hearing him berate her in public, like people around, fans around coming up asking for autographs, and I'm just like,
and just belittle her.
How like, you know, this woman is beautiful. How are you, like, how is this happening? How is this real life for these two people that are on TV? Like, and that's one of the things, like, early on in my life, like, just really got me to understand how media has a way of just kind of warping people's minds and stuff, and like seeing that. It's just
Flying Feline likes that Ricky Steamboat. Ricky Steamboat was in the commercials. That was one of the things I wanted to bring up, dude. Is like they sold us so much shit. Like we had thumb wrestlers. I remember thumb wrestlers. I had those. Those were awesome. I didn't have the board game. Did you see the board game? They sold us a wrestling board game, and we bought that shit wholesale.
I had it.
100%. You had it?
I had
Yeah.
I have the puzzle over here waiting to be put together and framed, but I still have that puzzle from when I was a kid. It's in the original box and everything. Yeah.
I used to play that NES game that they were showing.
I got
I didn't realize how crappy it was
back in my
back
box
then.
of Nintendo games.
I was like, I have all of this stuff.
I do. I have a bunch of just random old wrestling merchandise left when I was a kid. Yeah, I have the wrestling album, the case, the big vinyl is on the wall back here behind my green screen, behind my toy shelf of Star Wars memorabilia. Yeah,
so good.
And a lot of random weird. I still have the thumb wrestlers and stuff like that. I got about 6 of them. My kid plays with them. He loves them. So
I don't know if you remember the muscle toys. Those Japanese whatever they were.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The reason you had
Yep.
those
Oh, yeah.
littles because you were a
Order
WWF
machines.
fan. It was like anything wrestling, you just got it. Like
Yeah,
it didn't matter what it was.
saw them at the store one day, and they had that wrestling ring on the logo, and it was just like, I don't know what it is, but we need them.
Pac-Man. I didn't even know Pac-Man had a board game.
I didn't either.
my
Now
kid
you're
has
digging,
it.
you're digging into some deep lore that I have no fancy about. However, I mean, even continuing to now, like even if you're gonna go off of divas, like I just think like WWE had a reality show that was on E. You know what I mean? Like they had women attractive enough, wrestlers attractive enough, and enough like TV personality, you know, like vapid TV personality to sell a show. And I mean, like the bell, I think the Bellas alone just dominate over anything that AEW's got.
Also, you remember back in the
biased.
80s was Elizabeth. I mean, that was like every kid's fantasy was, you know,
Totally.
you know,
Yep.
Elizabeth.
Oh yeah,
So,
she
I
had
mean,
the smoky eye. She had the dress. Like she was like for the time, like the hair, the fashion, everything.
The Coke habit.
and Mike McGurk. I always like.
That's why I
Mike
like
McGurk.
doing.
Look at you.
I got her to sign I made this deck of playing cards of I illustrated all these wrestlers on it, and she was at a signing, so she actually got to see one of the cards and sign it for me.
Oh man,
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was able to find out that she was signing somewhere and got to mail it in.
that's so
So we
cool.
get a video of her looking at my stuff, and you know, old Mike McGurk. No one appreciates
How
that
was
anymore.
she?
Huh?
How was she? Was she like?
She's still. I mean, she probably looks better than she did in the '80s, to be honest. I mean, she wasn't wearing a suit, also, so that probably helped a little bit.
Looked like a normal. Oh man, I remember those shoulder pads and like the jacket all the time. It was just.
Well, gentlemen, we are at the point of the show where we get down to the interview, and we have the main guest here, Mr. Mark Poulton. You've been a great panelist this entire time. You've been so generous with your time, but this is where we like to put a little bit of focus on you and talk about what you got going on and what's popping.
Awesome.
Right now, you have a Indiegogo campaign, the Black Owl, which, you know, we're here at the Outcast Owls. We're big fans of anything owls related, and we definitely are. I backed this day one. This was like a no-brainer.
Thank you.
I've been following this, like, as soon as I found out about this before I knew, actually. I came into CG in a weird way, so like I actually knew about this project before I knew about anything else that you've done.
Yeah. Yes, this is if people aren't familiar with the Black Owl, he was a public domain character from, I guess, the 40s, and the copyright ran out, so anyone's free to use it. So my friend Greg Paulson and we decided to reimagine him for the modern day, but we still wanted to have an aspect of that Golden Age character, so we made the Golden Age character our character's grandfather, and the story flashes back every now and then to his grandfather, so even a different art style to give it that old school look. It's just been a lot of fun to do it, and it's pretty different than all the other books I do, which are more horror or extreme violent or over the top. This is more classic superheroes.
Very sweet. Let's play. I'm gonna go ahead and full screen this bad boy. Let's figure that out. There we go. Boom. And we'll play the trailer. Bam, that's pretty awesome.
Nice. Red Gaze did that video for me.
I have a question. So like, what do we say? Like, is his mentality like more like a Batman? Like when you say you're going back to like these kind of like what kind of like a Daredevil? Like what kind of like when he's handling bad guys? Like what kind of mentality is he?
I would say he's more of a mix of between Tony Stark and Bruce Wayne. You know, he's a billionaire playboy, and he works in the night, but I think he has more of a Tony Stark mentality.
Nice.
Oh, very nice.
I was, you know, like I've been paying attention to the campaign because I try to pay attention to all CG stuff, but this in particular, you know, your artist Greg Paulson, an old friend of mine, and seeing his artwork on this is just it looks so great, and I'm so happy to see him here doing this with you, and I'm so geeked for you guys. Like I hope you guys just keep knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, it's funny that most of the artists I work with, I met them all at the same place, early 2000s. We were all Rob Liefeld fans on Rob Liefeld's message board. It was me, John Malin. That's how Malin and I met. That's how I met Mike McMahon, who I do U.S. Assassin with.
That's amazing.
Our Graveyard Shift colorist, Anthony George, was there. Tommy Patterson, who works on Graveyard Shift now, and then Greg Paul was there too. So it was just like such a wealth of aspiring creators.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's super.
This is what happens when worlds combined.
Yeah.
It looks awesome, man. I'm excited to get it. I'm excited to back, and I can't wait for more. Excited to see 2 and 3 and onward.
So, like, where do we get into like the backstory where his tech comes from and stuff? Like, where, because you said he's like a playboy and stuff. Where did the money come from for the family?
So his father was a weapons manufacturer, and he takes over the company. He's kind of like I based him sort of off like a Mark Cuban type, like celebrity, celebrity millionaire. He's hosts, a reality show, and walks the red carpet, does all these things, but then he gets framed for a crime he didn't commit, goes away, his fortune is lost. All that he has left when he gets out is his grandfather's estate, and it's all run down, dilapidated. So he's going through that to see what he's actually inherited, and he finds his grandfather's secret lair and discovers he was the Black Owl.
That's awesome.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
how many of those wrestling buddies you got left, by the way?
On the campaign? Oh,
Yeah.
there's plenty of them.
I'm thinking.
So we did do the commercial earlier of the OG Wrestling Buddies, and if you're a fan of the Wrestling Buddies, you can get a Black Owl Wrestling Buddy on this campaign. It is an add-on. That is awesome.
I might get it and wrestle it on stream.
Does it transition like in the book between like this old, like this kind of pulpy kind of thing? Like, is this the transition of the grandfather?
Yep. Yeah. So, like when he discovers the grandfather's lair, he'll pull up like something from his trophy case or something, and then we'll go and tell that story of where it came from.
Oh, that is amazing.
I was, the design, like the modern day Black Owl, is such a, and not to say that the grandfather version isn't either, but like it's very toyetic. Is there, if this does well, any chance that, perhaps maybe an action figure or something? Would that be?
I would love to. I've actually looked into action figures for some of my other properties.
Oh.
So, I mean, if that happens eventually, yeah, I would like to have everything. But
Awesome.
that page right there, that's my favorite page in the entire book. That's one of the flashback scenes. So for the flashback scenes, we have another artist. Greg's friend, Bill Douglas, does it. But Greg actually inked that page, and it's just incredible. Like especially like the rain effects on that one panel.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Greg's a killer, man. Like back in the day, there were a few times where I handed him and I have to be completely honest about my own work, bad pencils.
Did he have a Robin? Did he have an owl, like a mini owl? That no.
So there's been plenty of there's been a couple different versions of the Black Owl. So I tried to like honor all of them in this book.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is like the connective tissue in a modern iteration.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an awesome image.
Yeah. So that's from that one image we just scrolled by. That's from S. Clark Hallbaker, and he was the artist of the '90s Nomad series for Marvel Comics.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He like found everybody. That's
awesome.
That's awesome.
Was he found on the message board?
Yeah, no, you know what's crazy is message boards were the thing. If you fucked up, if you weren't in the age of message boards and you wanted entertainment in 2022 or in the last 10 years, like you just screwed up, because message boards were like everyone from Joe Rogan to anybody else. Like if you were on an OG message board, that was your in. That was it.
The Usenet.
It was the live stream of the early 2000s, late 90s.
Heck, even the old AOL dial-up days, they had the old chat rooms and the comic
chat rooms are awesome. That was pure sketch.
I remember.
Yeah, no, they were terribly sketchy. Oh man, I can't remember. You guys remember Bobcat Goldthwait?
Yeah. Police Academy.
Okay, so
Worse
you know
than an
he
angel.
did a documentary with another comedian who had like been like sexually abused, and he was like one of the first people who was like out there like predator catching on like the AOL like boards like back in the day. Like he brought up all their they did like a huge documentary, but that the other comedian ended up dying. I think he had like cancer or something. Yeah, but I don't know. You need to check out Bobcat recently if you have not seen Bobcat, like past Police Academy. He's got plenty of comedy specials, and he's made a bunch of movies. Like he's made like Sasquatch movies and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, people always. I always see these questions on Facebook, like, who would you have narrate your life? And people are always saying like Morgan Freeman. My go-to is always Bobcat.
as the Bobcat character. But this is the wrestling.
There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's only it's $40.
40, yeah.
$40 for nostalgia. I mean, like, get on eBay right now and try to figure out how much Randy Savage or like a fucking, Ultimate
Had all
Warrior.
those. I beat them till the stuffing came out of them. Those things were awesome. That was the youngest of three brothers, so that's the only.
No.
thing I can do that one.
The thing is that 80s kids, we were stupid and like we were still in that prehistoric age where like manufacturing had been perfected, and so they could sell us anything. They sold us wrestling buddies, which was the same thing as the wire figures, but like less costed them than the wire figures that they sold us. Like they sold us
They were just pillows.
They sold us a teddy bear. Wrestling buddies is just a teddy bear. They sold us a teddy bear that cost them less to make because it's not fuzzy. Sorry, as much as I love it, like I love capitalism, I'm just saying that we have to realize that a good chunk of our youth was built off of money.
Look at that.
Oh,
beautiful.
Yeah,
Well,
first,
absolutely.
so these are all claimed as first 100 backers of a physical tier got the very first CGWF trading card. And who better to be the first card than the Hall of Famer himself, the Moral Compass?
Douchebag.
And who was it designed by?
Some guy.
Some guy.
We got some stretch goals.
That would be 6am, who was also
Yeah, that
on
would
the
be
panel.
me. We need to talk about you're trying to retroactively get to the Hall of Fame first, by the way. That's
Where are we at on this campaign? Oh, we're at $9,344 and 145 backers. We only have 2 stretch goals showing up on this campaign thus far. We're almost there.
Yeah, no, I like to add them every time. Add
as we
every
get
time
there.
we unlock. Yeah.
So we're close to that Mike McMahon Black Owl print. That's 6x9. It could happen very, very shortly.
I've seen images of that somewhere. Did he post that on Twitter? Where did I see
Yeah,
that?
it's also in the update section on this page. So
Okay.
if you want to check it out.
So what are the packs to buy? Where are we going? If I'm new to your work, sir, and I want to get a good introduction, what tier am I backing?
So definitely the
nice
honestly,
thing about this is it's the first book, so you don't have to worry about a catch-up tier.
Yeah.
You're in on the ground floor.
So the featured tier usually is the best tier, but actually I would go for if you signed up for the mailing list, there was a secret tier where you got everything in the featured tier, plus you got supposedly a sketch by Greg Paulson, but his sketches are 11x17 full-on commissions.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you got that for $150 or $175.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a steal. So you got the book plus a commission for under the rate of a commission for any talented artist.
I would love when people ask the creator which tier they should back because they're always the
most expensive.
Well, you never get here.
It just depends on
the way to go. Like
it depends on your circumstance, right? I mean, like now we don't know. Like we don't know if we can get shit to Australia, right? So you should probably back a digital. But if you're here in America and you're watching pop culture and you're like, hey, I'm into this. I'm into owls. I'm into Outcast Owls. There's a Black Owl book. Here's a superhero that's cooler than Batman, cooler than the Arrow, and he's classic. I want to see this reimagining. You could back this book right now, and like depending on what's going on, there might be different things you want to cover.
And even though if you didn't sign up for the sign up beforehand, you could still get the the $100? Was it the feature tier, the $100? And then you could add the sketch as an add-on. And granted, you don't save money, but it's still not a bad price.
Yeah, 75 for the add-on sketch, which is a
That's still a
commission.
that's a steal. That's a steal. A full-on commitment. Like, get on. I defy you to even find someone in South America to give you a better price.
Yeah.
like for real.
I'll say this about Mark's books too. And one of the reasons I like them is because I think in all the CG properties out there, he's kind of the first that's really built an actual universe of all these different. I believe all your stuff's connected, right? All the between Sea Dog and. I mean, there's already how many different properties do you have? Like 5 at this point.
Yeah,
4 or 5?
Blackout would be the 5th one. Yeah, but there's more in the works.
I'm waiting for that big Avengers.
How
book.
does the cat named Tycoon fit into this?
He's not part of the universe.
So, will we ever see Black Owl meeting Graveyard Shift?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Because I own Graveyard Shift with John, and John's a little protective of Graveyard Shift. I got to do the Graveyard Shift U.S. Assassin, and I don't know. Graveyard Shift is so huge and epic. They have their own universe of characters.
Yeah.
So it's kind of. I don't see.
Maybe we'll see like a little short thing, something in the future.
Oh come on! Even Lone Star got a cross.
I mean, like there's got to be some kind of mini 5-pager crossover we could do.
Maybe a cameo, something like that.
A photograph on the wall. For those of you that don't know, and I know I don't think U24 has dropped a link, but the links are in the description. So if you are interested in checking out the book, it's on Indiegogo, and that link is in the description to the videos.
All the links for everybody that is on Pan. If you like anyone and everyone that's up here, you want to support them in any kind of way, you want to find them somewhere else, you look in that description and you'll find them. And wherever I could find them, searchably on the internet. And it's all there. I'll link you right up there. And with that, I mean, I think we're coming into a close. I think everybody should let us know where you can find us. I think we'll start with Neek, and then we'll work our way to Mark, Etep, and Moral Compass. And then we'll close out you and me and Man to Be. So, Neek, where can we find you, sir?
Right there.
At Neekatronus. I mean, you do some video work. We can find you on YouTube, sir.
Yeah, hey, I'm trying to grow the YouTube channel and work towards that goal of eventual, maybe if I'm lucky, some monetization. But I'm working on some drawing live streams and painting and custom action figures and all that fun stuff.
I can tell you right now, Neek right here, he's very timid or whatever, and it's silly, but he's got the best stories in the world, and I'm gonna have him at least twice a month on this channel doing a show with me, and we're gonna talk some wrestling, some stories from back in the day and all kinds of different things. I think one of the things that I need to maybe experiment with is not getting stoned before we go live, and that maybe I won't have those, slip and fall moments.
Sativas. Use a sativa, bro. You'll be good.
See, the crazy thing is I've got both right in front of me, and I even went for the sativa, and yeah.
There we are. Oh, with that, Mark, 6AMComics, where can we find you, sir?
Yeah, you can find me at 6AMComics on Twitter. Also, me and a few other creators have a channel on YouTube, Breaking Rad. I always mistakenly call it Breaking Bad. I'm not supposed to do that. Breaking Rad. Where we're doing currently, Mark's been helping us. Mr. Poulton has been helping us do this whole Comixgate Wrestling Federation stuff. We've been creating all these different CG creators and throwing them in a ring and letting them beat each other up for everybody's amusement.
Yeah, I do know that my co-host is currently in the ring. currently in the ring. However, I do know that there's like this punk out there named OC Steve, just like talking all kinds of mad smack.
I think he's officially lost his right to talk.
And I feel like that, you know, I not only dominate him like the Young Bucks, but like several other people. I'm just saying.
Well,
I can attest to the wrestling thing, so definitely check out the Breaking Rad link in the description and get the notifications.
Yeah, if you want to see some amazing CG creators go at each other, if you ever want to see John Malin go against the Mortal Compass or whatever, there's many different manipulations.
Oh, that could be the surprise fight. I never even thought of that combination.
Get on Twitter. Go on.
Get on Twitter, get interactive, let people know.
This Saturday, 9:30 Eastern, we're having our big wrestling event for this month. It's the CG King of That Thing. We're going to be having Ink Spots taking on King Shane Davis.
Yeah. Oh, Ink Spots versus Shane Davis. Is he going to be wearing the tiger head?
Just
I'm excited
to see what we got, but it should be a fun time. We got a mystery match, but yeah, that's where you can find me. And
I feel like drunk Shane Davis might win over Ink Spots, but if Ink Spots is sober and Shane Davis is sober, I don't know.
Did you see that last match? Ink Spot was killing it in that last match.
I mean, he is a plumber. He is,
he's emasculated Don Chin.
He could be, you know, maybe he's CG's American Dream. We don't know.
Well, to be fair, he's Ink Spots.
He is currently my one of my favorite artists in CG too. So I am biased.
So good.
You know, rooting for Team Ink always.
His music as well.
You know, he does music too.
Oh, that reminds me. You rap, which we didn't even get into, but that's okay.
Well, we'll have to talk about that offline. Etep, where can we find you? I know that we can find you on several like CG spots, but where can we find you in your home turf, sir?
I am over on Etep Wokuian's The Place to Be Reviews, and if that's too difficult to remember, just search Pixar Moms with Dump Truck Asses. That's my #1 video. That'll come up top 3 on YouTube with around 52K on the views. I did that 2 years ago when I had 200 subscribers, and yeah, we just got monetized, and we run shows every Monday night, 8:35 Eastern. Monday night going in raw, no protection required. You can get the t-shirt on the Teespring store. And Wednesday night, and of note, Monday night I have my co-host Tony Tone Deaf from the Clown World Review, Red Gaze, he's our assistant regional manager, and my brother Vinny Tartamella over there with us. We're the four horsemen of Monday nights. That t-shirt's coming soon.
Hey Mark, Vinny is the fulfillment king, in case you're wondering who Vinny is.
Yeah, Vinny.
Not even close.
But yeah, that's Monday night, 8:35 Eastern. And then Wednesday night we have The Place to Be Reviews live. Every Wednesday, me and Tony have 2-3 different guests on. We have Holy Shit News, which is our just insane news segment. And also we do the quiz sensation that's sweeping the nation, Do You Know Me, where our panelists represent a couple players in the chat. We're going to start playing for prizes here in a couple weeks. As soon as Google decides to send me my pin so I can get paid, I can start buying some merch to kick out to the people, because we're going to start doing giveaways for everybody in the... I've got one of those little plug-and-play WWF Steel Cage Challenge things to give away, too, just for the heck of it. I bought it at the bodega, and I will have some merch to give away and stuff like that. So, yeah, come on over and subscribe. I review movie, pop culture, TV. I'm just wrapping up Batwoman. I review that out of spite and on a bet. Man. So 85 videos in 3 years I've done. Out of the 909 I've got on the channel right now, 85 are dedicated to Batwoman. I started as a Star Wars and Marvel channel. I hate myself to entertain my audience. So if you want to see self-deprecating humor in a Russian Jew riddled with all the guilt of somebody who was raised Catholic, come on over, enjoy the channel. L'chaim, we love you.
You suffer so we don't have to, right?
That is my motto. I'm on the cross. I bear the brunt and the beast of burden for everybody else watching horrible movies and TV.
Team Mayhem. Snuggie Jr., like, don't look. I like you, Snuggie. Don't make me have to come at you. Look, Snuggie.
Hey.
I don't want to have to cut a promo on Snuggie Jr.
Whoa, man, easy. CrackPack's
Look,
cool.
oh, I know I love the crack pack, but I'm
These
just
are my
saying,
boys,
OC,
man.
you know, like, look, me and Good Stuffs, we're all good. Me and D-Wag, we're all good, but like, you know, like maybe OC Steve, maybe Snuggie, if he's getting, you know, foxy, maybe he's just like he's looking for that ride, he's looking for that razor's edge. But with that,
Snug, that's 24. That's not me. That's not me.
the moral compass, Mark Poulton. Where do we find you, sir?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. I have my own YouTube channel, Primetime Poulton. Every Sunday and Wednesday, I do my wrestling show, La Pod Gods. I've been helping Six out with the CGWF doing play-by-play on his channel, Breaking Rad. And then we have matches on my channel every Wednesday.
He's been working hard.
Snuggie is mad at me, too. He thinks I have something to do with OC Steve losing. Listen to the crowd in that match last night. The crowd.
The crowd wasn't feeling it.
No, they weren't feeling that match at all. Also, get all your Graveyard Shift and US Assassin t-shirts at graveyardshiftmerch.com.
Also, where we mentioned Graveyard Shift 4 is ending in 7 days.
7 days. My God.
7 days.
Yeah, so definitely check that one out. It's one of the more popular ones in the community.
Graveyard Shift, and you can catch up on the campaign as well. You can get all of your copies if you need to.
Yep.
So you're capped out there. Like, I mean, there's no issues if you're like oh 4, fuck no, that's not an issue. You can catch up. You can get 1 through 4, all of them on this campaign. Always available. And with that, Amanda B, where can we find you, madam?
Snuggie's talking smack from the safety of the keyboard. Let's see. This week's actually been pretty busy. So Thursday nights here, same time. Tomorrow night we're actually doing the Uncorked Girl thing on Goodstuff Comixgator's channel, which is in the description. It's a bunch of us girls kind of hanging out, drinking on stream. Everyone's welcome. We usually pull up funny videos.
Parties.
Sausage parties. Yes, we have a sausage dishes that are made, and we vote on them. But yeah, it's a pretty fun time.
Make your sausage dish tomorrow and get that on Twitter before the show happens. Make sure.
Yeah, it's made. I just haven't posted it yet. Although I'm seeing everybody post their stuff, and I'm like, damn it. They look so good. Anyways, and then Saturday, unfortunately, I'll miss most of the CGWF stuff, but we're bringing back the chat. So it'll be Leroy, Furious B, and K Manifesto, and we're starting back up the chat, which will be a weekly thing on Saturdays.
Well, that'll be in the description as well when Amanda B gives me the new link to the new chat. Aside from that, you can catch me 24 Eyes here on the Outcast Owls channel or on my personal channel 24 Eyes. I know that this is like a split chat for some viewers or whatever. However, you can catch me. We're doing crazy things. We're doing lore. We're doing commentary. You can catch me here doing pop culture with Amanda B, where we have a myriad of guests and we're doing really fun things. You're going to catch me in the future with Nicotronis doing a wrestling podcast and maybe some other people. You don't know. We're getting crazy around here. We're making connections. We're doing stuff. But with that, we like to feature our homies. And tonight I'm wearing a 216 Zay hoodie. He's a rapper from Cleveland local. And you can find him on Instagram and Twitter and all those good things in the description. But as well, just at 216 Zay if you're feeling it. And we're going to play out a little video here. And that will be the end of the show. 216A. Subscribe, like, share. Everyone here, all their links are here. Please, 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 please go ahead and sub up. Hit that like, hit that share. And make sure you make a comment, because the only way we grow on YouTube or any other platform is by your interaction. And with that, nope. Oh, no, we're sharing the wrong channel.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. One day I'll be professional. I'll have like my whole speech worked out, and I'll hit the correct button.
And if you like 216, his info's in the description as well.
Boom.
Yo.
Yeah. 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 Tune with the salute, most likely it's overdue. Not likely that'll lose since cipher number 2 been nicer than a few. I got rappers at a deficit. I'm fit to set the precedent of punishing predicate sentences. Medicine, seconds, ticking by with every minute I give you in the review. Drip until this mildew skills will probably kill you. Probably get a pillow sleeping on the land like Les Stroud, immense styles, NG in them night owls. Day and white out doing what we like now. Haters better pipe down. This right here that lights out. Bet they seeing signs how they compare to us yet. Lodi pulling on them strings like a marionette. Local vocals is heat, homie ash is left. For me flow free, come get it cracking to death. No need to call the front desk, man, they saving me room. When they ask who killed it the most, but they say it was boom.
So you're basically doomed. I saw no rapper trying to pass is blatantly cool. Screaming my sermon, flexing as I take him to school. Better chalk your shit if I ain't involved. You small potatoes, chop your brains up and use the juice to flavor the soup. Pause. But you know I sprinkled the spice. Make the track peaches and cream with the side of everything that is nice. Y'all are talentless flukes. I'll have a rapper confused, hexing with the Cleveland curse. Evil lurking in the shadows. It's me here to say I'm rapping alphabet soup. But I'll make a motherfucker eat their words. Pull up in the lot and turn your teeth to dirt. What I do will make demons scared. You gon' need a hearse and a preacher's words to get me to shriek and burn. I plead the first. Say whatever I want to whoever I want whenever I want. And if you want these weapons, you got it. Fourth dimension director and prophet ready to knock a bitch out if they come incorrectly responding, trying to mess with my shot list. And you bet that you can't mess with the squad, bitch.
It's on and popping now, we ain't got no off switch. I got an arsenal of artists shutting down the spot. This ain't no race, you get the fuck about the land if you lost. This ain't no game, but on this level I'm the boss. I ain't gotta say my name, I just smoke it till it's gone. Highest in the room, so I'm closer to God. I'll crucify the non-believers if they thinking I'm fraud. Check it, through this peanut butter, got these rappers jelly. I've been on my shit, they just laying on their belly like a baby back bitch. Hold your head real steady, got a weak neck. Grab it, I'm snapping like raw spaghetti. This is the new shit, more than music. Nick the Philliac, nice guy, that's the movement. If you ain't heard yet, better stop the snoozing. Got your bitch up in the kitchen with the lazy